Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 215. We're missing MVG. He said he had another podcast or something. I don't know. He's doing something else. I think he's on Twitch for a podcast. That's fine. And then I think Max is out helping people move. So we'll see them next week. But got a bunch of people here to talk about a couple of things, which includes some E3 rumors around Nintendo. We have Mass Effect coming back in 2021. We'll talk about that. And then I wanted to bring this up for Sean because we might have some redemption for him with Sega, talking about some IP revivals. And I saw Knights on there. That AAA Knights is still a possibility. All right, good. Sean, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. The Knicks won a big game today. We're watching the Bucks and the Heat game right now because if the Bucks beat the Heat, the Knicks can finish no worse than 5th in the conference, which is perfect because I want the Hawks. And that would mean that we get the Hawks. Either it depends. If we win tomorrow, we would get home court. If we lose tomorrow, we don't get home court. I don't really give a fuck about that. I just want the Hawks. And also, RIP New Jack, one of the best ECW wrestlers of all time. Damn shame to see him go.
When did your basketball playoffs start?
Like a week. I think they have like a week off because tomorrow's the final game of the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple. I think a week and a half.
Yeah. So it's something like it's a nice break.
Yeah,
okay.
Need a little bit. And the Hall of Fame was today, so.
And I can't find my glasses. That's why my light. I have the crappy light on instead of the bright one.
Okay. Very good. Then we got Click. Click, how you doing tonight?
Hey, yeah, my internet's acting up, so if I randomly disappear, I am still alive. But it's good to be here.
Good to have you here. Then we got OJ, Player Essence. How's it going, OJ?
I happen to be here.
Yes, OJ's here. OJ is
here this week, and I'm very happy this week because Mass Effect came out, and it's so funny to see all of the Zoomers look at this game and be like, "Why do you guys like this so much?" It's all a whole review. It's interesting, so it was great.
Then we got Jordan. Jordan was happy this week too.
Very good week.
It was a good week.
The only 3 Mass Effect games ever made finally came back. It's been great.
I like they happened to not put Andromeda anywhere near this release.
What's that?
What's that? Then we got Nate the Hate. Nate's here.
Yes, I'm watching the Yankee game, kicking some Oriole ass.
Are they winning?
They're winning 8-1.
Do they have a winning record so far this year?
Yes, they do. They've been on a hot streak.
Is that when you were after you were yelling at them?
Yeah,
that's right around the time they started getting good.
But they didn't say everybody needs to be fired and everybody needs to be brought down.
They said they should have got rid of Gary Sanchez, and Aaron Boone listened to the SpawnCast. He said, "Gary, your ass is going on the bench. We're putting in Kyle Higashioka as the catcher," and all of a sudden, Yankees start hitting. But now we got friggin' Sanchez back in the lineup, but he's getting a couple of home runs and striking out 3 or 4 times.
Maybe they heard you on the podcast. You're ready to fire him.
That's right. I lit the fire under their ass like George Steinbrenner used to do, and they are playing good baseball.
Okay.
There you go. Shout outs to George. Rip. R.I.P.
Then we got Evan monitoring chat. Having a good time over there. Very cool. Okay, so did we want to quickly touch on RE Village because I did finish it. I don't know if anyone else got a chance to play a bit more of it this past week before we move into some of the topics here. Like I said, I would talk a little more about it after I finished it before we moved on from it because you already finished it last week, Sean. I don't know, Nate, you played more of it or not, or if Nate, did you even get it?
Yeah, I'm like halfway through.
Oh, okay. It's not even a long game. Sean, you posted up and you finished it.
My time.
It took me 9 hours.
I don't want
to
to blow through it. Yeah, I don't want to blast through it. The next game is going to be Ratchet and Clank. I'm just like,
No, you might as well
blast through it. Like it just sort of happens, and you're like, oh.
But you might as well blast through it because the idea in the game is to play through it multiple times.
Yeah.
Like they want you to play through it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that like right after.
Well,
I'll do that in like 6 months.
Because you do get some pretty cool stuff. Like they have an entire cheat menu, unlocks all these different things, and they're like, all right, now go through it with these much more powerful weapons and try to beat it really fast. So people are beating it in like an hour or so, and
almost like Resident Evil 4, how they did give you so much dope stuff after you beat the game, but Resident Evil 4 was a lot longer though, I think. But
yeah, this game's pretty quick once you get like all the cool stuff they give you. So I just recommend people get through it as fast as you can the first time and then go through it again with some of the cool stuff they give you just to blast through it, because you do become overpowered technically with your weapons as you go through, and then get all the treasures then because they have New Game Plus. So but you know what, it did go off the rails at the end, Sean. You're right. The ending was It was all right, I guess. I mean, it tied everything up. I was like, it's kind of cliche ending a bit, I guess. And they do leave room for, I guess, if they want to do RE9, all of that. There is like kind of a last scene at the end where you're like, I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean, but the ending was okay. I'll just say that. I'll say that. They took a long time explaining stuff too. Like they went into the literal explanations of everything. Kind of like, all right, sit here. I'm going to explain everything to you. Like, you know, the bad guy just explains the plans to you and stuff. So it's like, all right, I guess. But visually it looked great. Gameplay was good. And I think these kind of games I kind of prefer now over games that feel drawn out. I like this because this one, like I said, 9 hours, but it was a tight 9 hours. It wasn't
Not
like
a lot of fluff.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't feel like I was going through the sewers in Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example.
Oh, screw that part.
It felt like it was like, okay, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here, and it was pretty quick, and it was very compact. So I did like that overall.
What did you think of the factory? Because I didn't like the factory.
Really? Okay, I like the look of the factory. I like the art style. I like the setting. Do you mean just the overall like?
I guess
the puzzles,
it was more so like the enemy types that you would, and it just felt very sort of generic, you know, and it was like such a stark contrast from what you did up until that point. It was kind of like what happened to all the stuff, you know, the lichens and shit. Where did they all go?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It did kind of go way off in the left field there with enemy types and stuff. I preferred the outdoor settings that they did. I like those a lot more because it, to me, lined up more with Resident Evil than when you go into the factory, and it felt more steampunk, I guess, is how I would say it. But I guess maybe they just wanted to feel different at the end. And then when you get to the very end, it feels like a completely different game. Like, I was like, what happened here? I don't want to say, I can't even make a direct comparison without spoiling it for everyone. But like, I was like, all right, this doesn't feel like Resident Evil anymore.
Weird stuff.
Yeah. So Nate, I would just go through it as quick as you can at this point and then decide if you want to play back through it. That would be my suggestion. If you're halfway through it, you only have like 3 or 4 hours left. So
yeah, I'm just trying to savor it and not finish it off too quick.
Okay. Evan, we got any Discord questions? Why don't we start with one of those to get started here?
Yeah. Okay. What are some of your gaming pet peeves? This guy cited achievement points being an odd number.
Oh, that is a good one. When you're like the last digit is like a 7 or something. You're like, oh, all right, where do I get 3 achievement points from? That's
from
a good
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's where you get it from.
Gaming pet peeves, though.
I'd probably say anything with the Assassin's Creed formula where it is just fluff for the sake of fluff of collect these feathers. Why? Kind of like what Spider-Man did. You had so many R&D stations, and then you had so many different crimes, and you had the camps. It was kind of like you're just adding the stuff to make the game feel longer than it really has to be.
I got it.
You don't have create a good 15-hour experience. Don't force it to go to 30 by adding in all this extra.
I think the difference
filler
there,
that really
Nate,
doesn't add anything to the experience.
I think the difference there, Nate, is like in like older Assassin's Creeds when you get in the feathers, or like in Spider-Man with the optional crimes, it's optional. It's not forcing you to do it. With new Assassin's Creed, you literally kind of just have to do everything to get this, which makes it a lot worse.
You know what the pet peeve for me now, and it started recently in this past generation really, is when you have to squeeze through little areas because they obviously have to load the next area, and it happens over and over, and it's the same thing too. Like even in like I was playing Star Wars The Fallen Order, and he always has to squeeze through these little like areas with all the pipes around him and stuff, and he does it. There's so many of them. Or in Final Fantasy VII where you had to like cycle through like the little cave opening, and it's like, why are there so many of these? It's just because they got to load the next area.
I think I've said this before, but I just noticed that the more I play like certain games, like certain action games, is like puzzles thrown in to make the game longer. Just like I get to an area and I have to solve this puzzle to get back to the combat, which is the focus of the game, and that really takes me out. And like I think the new God of War was fine with that. Like it handled it a lot better, but like you go back and look at some older God of War games or other games in that same genre, and there's a lot of like, all right, now you're in a puzzle and you got to do all this stuff to get somewhere else. I'm like, I like this game because I get to do a lot of cool, awesome like kills and have cool weapons, not push around a couple blocks and make a statue fall to hit a button to open a door. I don't know. It just, that all feels like padding to me. And every time a game does that in a newer game, I'm very like, okay, I guess I have to do this.
You know
now.
what, Jordan? The fact that you say that, I think that's why I liked Hyrule Warriors a lot, because you don't do anything but just like fight the whole time for the most part.
Yeah.
You just fight, and like I gotten kind of tired. Like Resident Evil formula of like what I've seen with 8 is just like I don't feel like doing these puzzles at all. Like when I stream, like I'm like, guys, just tell me how to do the puzzle. I don't care. I don't care. Just tell me how to do it, and I'll just let them backseat me on a puzzle because I don't feel like doing puzzles. I just don't. Also, pet peeve when you have to log in, like internet, just to play a single player game. That's the worst. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I downloaded Steep off of Game Pass.
That's online only. Yeah.
And they were like, you need an Ubisoft Connect account. Please download the app. Please sign up. I haven't played it. That was it. I was like, goodbye. No.
You're just like,
Honestly,
nope, that's it.
My pet peeve got to be the difference between what is the run button, what is the attack button, and what is the crouch button. You know, many times I've like tried to sprint by pressing the joystick, and then I've crouched, and then like I died to a boss. My character just
You can
Running
change
into
that
the
into
issue with
options, though,
the-
right?
Not always.
Well,
Console
games.
games usually aren't great for switching controls.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're like super
Running-
complex. Yeah, just like all the mapping. Like I wish there was more of universal, but also at the same time, I guess it's a puzzle in itself to figure out what's what button. You kind of hit a wall, I feel like, when you're learning controls with a specific game at first, and like sometimes I'm just like I forgot what button's what, and it's annoying.
Mass Effect does that. It reminded me that I hate that the A button.
Look at him already start. Look at him already starting with the Mass Effect talk over here.
Because I keep trying to hit the trigger button to, or the joystick to run in Mass Effect, and it just keeps stopping you because it thinks you're trying to do something else, and A's the run button. So
You know what? Let's just go into Mass Effect first, then. All right, because Jordan, he's just gonna keep bringing it up randomly. We're gonna be like, wow, maybe Breath of the Wild makes this year. He's like, yeah, but what about Mass Effect? So let's, you know what? Let's go into Mass Effect, because we did get the Legendary Edition. Who picked it up? Because I grabbed it immediately on the Xbox. I knew OJ. I already know OJ and Jordan were gonna grab it. I don't know if anyone else did. Yeah, Jordan got like the whole
helmet. Put the helmet on, Jordan.
no,
the
absolutely
whole
not.
thing. Does it actually? You can actually put it on.
Yeah, you can. It has a harness in there and everything.
Wow.
Where did you buy that? I couldn't even know where to buy it.
You could have pre-ordered. I pre-ordered mine through Best Buy. So
is that- I didn't
it's the
even see
add-on collector's edition. So there's no game in here, but it's just the add-on collector's
Oh,
edition
that's
if you
why I
wanted
didn't buy it.
Yeah.
So I want to say, if you're someone who's never played a Mass Effect game, this might be like some of the best money you can spend at $60. 3 Mass Effect games.
For PC?
Yeah, I have it on PC. Yeah,
Should have dropped
yeah.
on Steam.
It
same
supports
time.
up to 240 frames per second on PC.
Cool. I'll
Yeah.
pick it up.
But all 3
You'll
Mass Effect
buy
games
that,
are
but
there.
not Resident Evil.
Listen,
Yes.
that's 3 games, and it's 1,
Yeah,
2,
when's
3.
Resident
It's not
Evil
like
releasing all of them in one
12,000
pack?
games where it's like 7, 8, 4, 3, 2, 2 remake, 4.5. Like it's Kingdom Hearts.
And you can go through all 3. Just start 1, 2, 3. Very easy to go through.
Whoa. I am pretty sure you can buy Resident Evil Origins on the Switch, which is Resident Evil 0 and 1, and then you can buy Resident Evil 4,
Why is
5,
there
and
a
6 in a
0?
single package.
Why is there a 0? Why is there a 0?
Prequel. It's a
It's a
prequel.
prequel to 1.
It's not that great.
Oh gosh.
Resident
just
Evil
like-
prequel
it's not
doesn't
even
make any
that
sense.
We're talking about Mass Effect.
But
Talking about Mass Effect.
one that is great is the improvements and the rework job. It's basically a brand new game, the first Mass Effect.
Yeah,
They
it
went
is.
back and took a 2007 game and made it brand new somehow.
Yeah,
It
they
is
changed
so
the
good.
leveling system too. They're like, do you want to do the old style or do you
Yep.
want to do style where it's like 1 to 60 or 1 to 30? I was like,
I picked-
I
I
guess
picked
1 to
cla-
30. I did
Classic.
Oh, I did legendary. I was like, let me try the new one. And you're leveling up again. They're just throwing points at you, which is cool. But everyone? I got it. I assume everyone got it physically. Like Jordan, obviously, got the helmet and all of this. You got it physically, and OJ did. But I was shocked because this is EA, right? You open it up, you got an installation disc in there, and then you got a play disc. And the installation disc you only need if you don't have an internet connection. So like they, I guess, thought ahead and they were like, hey, if they have no connection to the servers, years and years and years from now, use that installation disk to install Mass Effect 2 and 3. So
That's cool.
like they have that there, which is cool. I was like, wow.
That's awesome. But the best thing about, the loading times in Mass Effect 1.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Holy smoke, dude. Those
You
elevator
can skip
rides.
the elevator rides.
Yeah, you can skip them.
It says,
skip
do you
them.
want to skip this? And like, yeah, I kind of want to skip it. And it's so fast. The loading, like you go to a load screen, then it flashes off.
Yep.
And then you're in the next area. It is
World of solid
fast.
state,
It is
man.
cleaned up. Everything looks so incredible, aside from a couple textures and a few like wonky like eyeball or mouth movements. This game, like the new textures, the new look, like the fact that they went in and completely fixed a lot of the problems that like at this point, I will never play the 2007 version again.
There's no reason to.
That version's too crusty.
It's too crusty, and it made me never want to play Mass Effect 1 again. And now replaying it this way, like I thought I was going to be like, okay, let me get through 1 to get to the superior game that is 2.
Yeah.
But 1 is so good. They've done so much to it that is, I am loving it. I'm taking my time, doing all the side stuff. It is so well put together. I can't believe this is done by EA. I can't believe EA went back and had BioWare do all this extra work. And this doesn't redeem BioWare for the last couple of issues, but this reminds me of the glory days.
It almost does. No, it doesn't.
I feel like if this new Mass Effect is really good, then it's like, okay, BioWare's back then.
If this next Mass Effect is great, and then hopefully this next Dragon Age is great, then I'll say BioWare's back on top. Because that'd be great.
It's still a far, because I know we're all big BioWare fans, or at least me, John, and Jordan are big BioWare fans. But I think one of the coolest things that they actually took like the snapping and shooting mechanics from 2. Like it feels like 2, it feels like 2 and 3, like a little bit of a mix in there. And that was what I was impressed with, because they actually didn't have to do that. If they just improved the loading times and just tightened a few things up, then it would have been better. There's still some stuff like the mini map is still kind of trash, like when you're in the Citadel. Like that's still kind of horrible for some reason. I don't know why they didn't make that.
Jordan pointed out driving the Mako around is still kind of a
It's still a little wonky, but it's so much better.
It's better.
It is so much better. It's actually drivable. And the second I got to any time using it, I was like, okay, make or break time, and it made it. So I'm very happy with it, and this excites me. Like all the memories of playing the Mass Effect games, like playing 1 again is literally like playing a brand new game. So I'm enjoying the experience. The storytelling is so rich. I played that back when it released in 2007. I played the original.
You were like 11 or 12. How old were you?
Oh my god, we're not going to get into this.
How did you get that game? It's mature rated.
Oh my god!
Listen, you know what? I'll just shut up. Mass Effect is great. It's back. I can't wait to play. No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I'm not going to clown. I'm actually like.
No, I'm getting attacked here. I'm just gonna say I enjoyed the game. I loved it. I love it more now than ever. The story is fantastic. It is so well written, and I cannot wait to play through the second game again and experience the third game.
I'm really excited.
Game twice.
I'm really excited to get to that. I played the third game once, so I was like, oh, that's it.
I played it twice. The second game I played probably about 6 times through, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, I played through the second one a couple of times. I'm really excited to get to that second game.
Well, the third game is just your only issue is the story, right? Because the gameplay is pretty good.
No, I don't. My only issue with 3 is the last bit of the game, like the very final bit, and the story up to that bit is fine. I like the story. I even like the leading events, like the big conclusion in that up until the final moments. Also, even the fixed, patched version or whatever they tried to do.
There's nothing that they can do. They already screwed it up. So there's not. I mean, it's a band-aid on a bullet wound.
I won't let that third game be ruined because it has kind of an ending. A really ending, but the rest of that experience through the journey of 3 was so much. It was so worth it. But 2, unmatched. 2 has the best beginning, middle, and end. And if you do everything,
2 is amazing.
Like chill. 2 gives you like the chills, like when you like the elusive man. It's phenomenal. Like how they set up the story and everything in that game. It's really a great experience. That even if you've never played it, this is like a little bit of heaven on earth. You just get to take it. It's so good.
Well, remember with 2, it went to the PS3 and the first one wasn't there. So they had you like kind of make choices in the beginning. I guess technically you could just go right to 2 and just do the same thing if you don't want to play the first one.
I don't recommend doing that though, because there are some things that don't carry over because it's the Dark Horse Comics thing. So they did that with Mass Effect on the Wii U, and there are just some little things that they do leave out that can't affect how something works or a character that's there.
Yeah.
So you can do that, but I highly recommend playing through Mass Effect 1.
You might as well.
You have to.
And the frame rate's so good now. The frame rate in the original Mass Effect, you guys played it. Xbox 360, yes. Man, there was one point where it goes to like, I swear, like 9 frames per second. I think when you're fighting like those like future roaches, those big old roaches. I forgot what they're called. Arachni? I forgot exactly what they're called. But it's like 9 frames per second at one point. Like there's a bunch of them. The frame rate's just bad at certain places. So now it's 120 frames on Xbox Series X.
Yep.
You know, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, it looks incredible. It plays incredible. It's fast. I will say one thing. Playing through 1 made me realize how much I dislike Ashley as a character. Her whole character in general is awful, and she is one of the biggest.
Why? What's he do?
Her whole character.
Jordan
I don't
just
wanna
sent
get
her
into the
away.
No,
Let him know, Jordan.
I hate on it.
I mean,
hate on it.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything in the game, but let's if
you
if
sent her off on that mission on purpose.
I let her get out of my game if that's the easy way to say. I'm done with her. I forgot her dialogue and what she says and what she stands for as a character. I was like, yeah, I don't like you. And there was one thing that she did in the middle of a cutscene where I was trying to calm down a situation to keep someone that I really, really like, and she just flat out does something. I'm like, no. So I actually reloaded my save, got all the way back up to that part, and made sure that she did not do that. And then as soon as I could, I sent her off to.
You sent her on the one-way trip to Mars. That's messed up.
I do not like this Ashley slander. She is a strong woman
awful.
with a good personality that is very direct.
She has an awful personality. She is awful, and I'm glad
she'll kick your butt, Jordan.
I am glad I will not deal with her in the third game.
I would say she's floating through space in Jordan's game.
Yeah.
All I'm hearing is I'll have to keep an eye out for her when I play.
Just spend time talking to get to know her.
You know what?
Understand why
I'm really interested in Click's take on this game. If you haven't played it yet, you should pick it up on PC and try it.
Well, it came out yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just came out.
I couldn't play yesterday, so we'll do it on Monday.
Yeah, that would actually be a cool game to stream too. It'd be really interesting to see that. So
a lot of talking though, Click. So just brace yourself for that.
Talking.
A lot of dialogue in the game, like a lot of picking options and dialogue.
So it's like a conversation simulator.
It's a BioWare game. I mean, you could skip when you read it, like so you can read it and then hit a button and then go to the next dialogue. But like it's a BioWare game, so like Knights Old Republic kind of thing. But it's good.
Well, Fire Emblem like that, right?
Fire Emblem. Oh, it's less than Fire Emblem, I would say.
Oh, okay. Then we should be.
But it's Fire Emblem. It's like Fire Emblem. It like doesn't matter. Like sometimes like it doesn't matter what you pick. Like 3 houses, it doesn't matter what you pick. It's just kind of like, you know, hey, they might like you a little bit more. Whereas this one's kind of like choices determine kind of like how things can go, what you get. Yeah. So it's more crucial than Fire Emblem is, you know. In terms of like what choices you pick, like it's like it actually matters. Fire Emblem's just kind of like, they might like
select your dialogue very carefully in this game because you think something says something, but all of a sudden your character's a jerk. You're like, that's not what I meant to say.
Oh, you mean like the prompt's different than the actual like line that you say? That's a pet peeve of mine. You know how many video games I think I'm about to say something and it's the complete opposite? I'm like, wow, I am an asshole.
There's a couple times in this game that's in the first game at least that's happened. I'm like, are you okay? And it's like you shouldn't have done. I'm like, I just asked they're okay. Why did it get so aggressive?
It is really good though.
Points, you're trying to go Paragon and then you get like oh, you got 2 plus renegade. I'm like, but I wasn't trying to be a renegade.
Yeah, you can be good or bad in the game.
I literally was trying to ask someone a question and I said, oh, you should go tell him, you know, yourself. That'd be the right thing to do. And my character grabs them by the shirt and goes, you better go tell him yourself. I'm like, what? What?
Well, you know, right in the beginning, they have you give that speech to the crew, like right in the beginning when you get and it's like you could be like, we're gonna do this for humanity, and like the other option is like, listen up, idiots, or something like that. It's like that's like your motivational start to the speech over the intercom for everybody on the ship. That's great. But being a jerk in that game is really funny.
Yeah, I will do a full replay through the whole series again, doing all the opposite options I've done. I'm sure of it because there's going to be games in between that come out through my playthrough, like Ratchet and Clank, that I'll take a break for. But I'm going to be playing Mass Effect for a while. This is the game I've been waiting for. I'm so glad it's here, and I know I've played them before, but this is like playing through one now is literally like playing a brand new game.
It's actually fun.
It's been exciting, and the dialogue and the story is so well done. So if you've never played Mass Effect, please, this is so worth it to pick it up now.
And I'll put it like, you know, Mass Effect 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like it's like a top 5.
It is really good.
Yes,
it's like
top 5 for sure.
Top 5. At the time, it was very innovative what they did because your decisions carry over from game to game. Some people don't know that, but the decisions do carry over. So like you have your save file, you read your save file, and then it goes to the next game, and then it goes to the third game. So that was like really cool at the time because like it really drew people. And I know some other games have done that, but a lot of developers don't do that now. But at the time, people thought that, whoa, this is next gen, you know. Even though there was some like dot hack and some games did it, but I don't think anybody did it to the degree that they did it there. So I mean, it was like, pretty impressive.
The fact that little things in the first game and dialogue options or choices can affect things in the third game, like very little minute things can change a whole outcome of gameplay in the third game. And now it might seem simple now because they're all out at the same time, but when you had these year-long these many year-long gaps between them, and they would still kill, like if you played and did a choice and to either keep a character alive or not in 2007, that had a major effect in one of the outcomes in 3 in a major battle. And the fact that is such a long gap from a choice you probably don't even remember making too well is crazy to me. So it's cool to see it all at once, but very innovative series of games, and
very innovative,
very immersive. And I honestly think, like, even though there's similar games like it now, there's still nothing that can touch these 3 games of Mass Effect.
The thing is, it came out in 2007, so that was before Borderlands. That was before Fallout 3. That was before a lot of these like looters, shooters, and other types of games. So it was out before a lot of them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing too. It's not like they were copying everybody else, you know?
Gonna be playing quite a bit of this one, so sure we talk about it. Hey Sean, do you play Mass Effect at all?
Yeah, I played Mass Effect 3, and my housemate played Mass Effect 1 and 2, so I watched him play it.
Oh wow, interesting. Okay. Let's go over to a Discord question there, Evan. What we got?
I mean, we were just talking earlier, I guess, about Mass Effect having the 2 discs, and it kind of installs if you don't have internet, so that you don't need necessarily the online. But we do have a guy asking about the future of games, where almost all games seem to have requires content download. He's wondering if there's going to be like a better future where we're not so worried about servers going down to, like, let's say, not be able to play something like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Probably not. Like, we're going towards the all digital future very quickly right now. So I mean, the hope is that all of these companies stay up and relevant and, you know, keep the ability to contact these servers with these games, but you never know. You never know what could happen. So I think eventually we're going to get to the point where we're very server reliant. So I think a lot of people see that coming at this point, unfortunately. But I do like that they decided to do that with the installation disc, because they very easily could have given us one disc and been like, download the other 2 games, and that's it. So nice surprise. Let me go over to some super chats here. Travis says, I pre-ordered a Biomutant physical copy at Best Buy because I had a $10 credit. Will I get the pre-order bonus Mercury class, and is OJ on the show? That was a $10 super chat.
Okay, $10, I'm here.
You pre-order a Biomutant physical copy at Best Buy.
I feel like pre-order bonuses, they're either handed out at like the cash register, which they'd probably just give you one, or it's already in the box for the initial release of the physical game, in which case it would just be in there even if you pick it up way later.
Usually they print them out on the receipt even. So if like you pick it up, if it's a Best Buy pre-order bonus, usually they put it on the receipt, and it's like a little code that you get. Because I know GameStop would do that as well. So I would assume you still get it. If they ship it to you, I remember I got a pre-order bonus with one of them. It came with like a piece of paper inside, like a piece of printer paper, and it had like the code on it. I think that was through Amazon for one of them. So you should get it. Otherwise, if it's supposed to be through Best Buy, you probably just have to call their customer service and get the code. Swift X Mile says, when do you believe the GPU shortage will end? Probably I would say it's alongside of when these console shortages eventually end. So probably early 2023, late 2022 at this point. It might be a full year still.
Wasn't the rumor that NVIDIA was going to be announcing their next card with the pre-built-in hash rate limiter at the end of this month, around there? So maybe
they're trying to just make it so that miners stop buying these cards.
Yeah, because they did it through like a patch, but the miners got around
People
it.
figured it out.
This one's supposed to be built in. Like, there's no real way to get around it.
There's too much money involved to be like, oh, we'll push a firmware update, and they're like, all right, yeah, that'll take a day to break. With how much money's on the line, they'll break it, and they did. So hey, if that's the case, because I feel like most of us just want the cards for gaming, so that's fine. They made cards for miners apparently too, with like no display outs or anything. So they're trying to get them to go towards those while they actually make gaming cards for like us. So I'm hoping at worst case, I guess best case it's end of this year, worst case it's end of next year. So we'll see. T-Joe says, I know how hyped OK is, but are any of the rest of you hyped for Scarlet Nexus? It's my most hyped game of the year so far.
Did you say Odes? Did he meant me?
I know how.
Your new name is OK.
Okay is.
Is that the one that looks like Astral Chain?
Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah, we're getting a demo soon.
Yeah, we're getting a demo. I'm hyped. I'm definitely hyped for it. It looks great.
Is that on Game Pass?
The combat looked really fun, I think, from what I remember from the trailers.
It's not. No, but Microsoft has a deal with them, a marketing deal, so they get the demo first on Xbox, and like the marketing rights is Xbox too. And it's series. There's like it's optimized, so it's going to run really good on Xbox, and it's going to run good on PlayStation.
I'm not gonna rule out the idea of Game Pass for that game yet, like day one, because MLB The Show was kind of close to release, so. You never know. I mean, that game's out after E3, so that actually could be an E3 announcement. It's very possible where they're like, yeah, Scarlet Nexus is going to Game Pass day one.
Yeah, the rumor is Tails.
That would be big. If Tales of Arise goes, I'm just get it there.
That's big.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. So I put all the games in the Game Pass, so I don't have to keep buying them.
But Scarlet Nexus, it's more RPG-ish than I thought it was going to be than when they were kind of showing it off at a Tokyo Game Show. So I'm gonna play the hell out of that game. I think it looks dope.
Yep. And Dark says, I've never played Mass Effect before, so I bought the Legendary Edition and I'm having a blast. I highly recommend it. Good call.
Awesome, man.
King says, hey guys, you think Candace will be at E3 this year?
Don't answer that.
No, John.
Trip and Fall says E3 2021 Valzette for Smash. Zoob says Jordan friends like to say what I'm already thinking when it is too late for me to bring it up via super chats.
It's telepathy.
There you go. This is from the Xbot saying, reminder, Jeff lied about Starfield 2021 and Battlefield 6 reveal. Battlefield 6 is it's getting revealed soon. You look forward to it.
And they just said it. They said it's getting revealed in June. The original plan was to have it revealed in May. They decided to delay the announcement. It's not called a lie. It's called plans changed. You should
wonder if that's getting revealed
the distinction between the two.
I wonder if that's getting revealed at the Xbox E3 then.
If they're going to reveal it in June, Microsoft's event makes the most sense because EA is not till July, so the timing would fit.
Put the trailer there, then say, hey, check us out in July for full gameplay, all that. That's a good idea. Derek says, hey, RGT, what's your favorite Hot Pocket filling? Also, beef or chicken and a taco. I'm settling a debate I have with my friend. Thanks, boss.
Favorite Hot Pocket top? I'm going to go with the Philly cheesesteak. I really feel like it's an underrated one. As far as tacos are concerned, I prefer, I'm speaking from a Taco Bell menu standpoint. I would prefer chicken. It tastes a little bit better. Ground beef is good, but sometimes you get ground beef and it's kind of sketchy, whereas
especially
chicken,
Taco Bell, yeah.
Right, with chicken or pollo, as it's known in some circles, it's usually always good.
Okay. You're so sophisticated,
right?
Yosemite says you don't want the Hawks.
Fuck that! I want the Hawks.
Ian says, "Oh, who is your favorite Mass Effect squad mate, and why is it the ultimate space bro, Garrus?"
Garrus is great. I love me some Rex.
Yeah, I usually be like, all right, Rex, let's go.
Rex I love Ashley.
Rex is a big reason why I very much dislike Ashley.
Are we talking about any squad mate from any game or just the original?
It just says Mass Effect, but sure, I guess it could be the franchise.
Because Thane is freaking awesome. How can you not like Thane? Thane is amazing.
That'd be hard. I have to let me replay through all of them to remember which ones are my favorite. So first game so far, Rex. Absolutely, Rex is my go-to guy.
Tolly's great too. I like Tolly.
Xbot says Nate bandwagons, Jeff. Neither are insiders. And then it just says stop John.
The loudest boos always come from the cheapest seats.
Okay.
You can think on that, try to figure it out. I don't think you have the brain capacity to actually find what the meaning behind the phrase is, though.
Damn, Nate.
I understand it.
Bagman says Nate is the Dave Meltzer of video games.
So I am a great insider of this industry. That is a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a compliment.
Moss says, has anyone seen the South Park Console Wars episodes? Xbot Killer Microsoft won a while ago. South Park said so. Zoob said,
You remember the Wii episode? That was
that one was good.
Fucking amazing.
Or like freezes himself. That was a good one. Zoob says, what should I play Mass Effect as? I'm debating whether to romance Miranda or Asari, male or female. I'm not a fan of gunplay, engineer, or adept.
Play whatever you want. Or play biotic. Be a biotic. He said adept, so he doesn't like that. Or be Vanguard. Be Vanguard.
I mean, Miranda's a fine option. I think everyone who played Mass Effect 2 definitely wanted that option to happen at the time. So
that was the first thing everybody did. Like, I'm getting with her. She's genetically engineered to be the perfect woman. You gotta get with her. You have no choice.
Click's about to step into a whole world here with this game.
But what about Jax? Can we talk about Jax? No love for Jax.
Next question, John.
Chris says, much love, SpawnCast. It's my daughter Eliza's 18th birthday. She's my couch co-op for games like It Takes Two and Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Appreciate a shout out. Shout out to Eliza and her 18th birthday.
Happy birthday. That's amazing.
Happy birthday, but I do want to say Jax is definitely RGT's type of girl.
Oh my God. He's not denying it, whatever that means.
As long as she doesn't snore.
Oh man. Jason says, I heard doors are complex to make in video games and help you explain this to us. Oh, MVG's not here.
Yeah, I had a bunch of MVG questions from Discord
That's
too.
a perfect question right there. We should ask him next because he would understand that pretty well about doors. I assume there's loading or just the way it works to connect rooms and all that. We'll have to ask MVG, see if he has an idea on that one next week. Fish fan says, SpawnCast crew, thanks for another great show. RGT update on Good Eats from Gma's place.
Well, Sunday was this past Sunday was Mother's Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I went over there. Yeah, we had the 5-pound roast, pasta, bread. I mean, it was a lot of food. A lot of food. It was a good time.
I just want to say that's the third question for RGT about food this episode so far.
That cooking channel, that food channel,
Food Wave.
Yeah, it was like 3:30 in the morning last night, and I was trying to sleep, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, all right, so I want to wake up and make a video. The next play at 1, so I don't want to have to get food. I think I'll get Applebee's. What will I get from Applebee's? You get the 2 for $20, and then you get an appetizer for free. And that's like 3 meals. So then I took out my phone, and I started going through the menu, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why am I doing this at 3:30 in the morning?
Are you gonna have a food channel?
I should. I did get Applebee's today, and it was great.
Jeff RGT.
Hey, I brought up that idea for a channel where I play games. You just tell people stories, Sean, and people love that idea.
I'll do it. I don't care.
They just want to hear you talk for like 20 minutes at a time.
Why don't you do
Game
mukbangs?
slumps.
If Sean did mukbangs.
Mukbang.
I thought that was mostly
know
just
those are,
about.
right?
I
Where
thought
you
that was
just-
mostly just about the eating and not so much the storytelling, though.
No, it's both. It's the
So they
same
moved
reason
it
why
onto
people
that.
will watch makeup videos where they tell the story. Like you just eat and tell the story.
Yeah,
I mean, I
It's
can
kind of
eat.
a modern day Garfield. You're not wrong. I fucking love
Yeah.
Garfield.
I mean, I'll eat while Sean tells stories. That's fine. I can do that.
Don't remind me about my channels. I'm good.
Bummer Rob says thoughts on Castlevania Season 4. In my opinion, good stuff. I didn't watch it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I need to watch
I'm watching it this weekend.
I heard it was good.
Moss says, RGT any good Gmod food meat of the week?
We had the roast. Meat of the week. I did get ham this week from the grocery store.
Nice, very good. And I probably shouldn't say that one because that is a spoiler.
Don't say it.
Can you work around this?
Bronze player, I did not. They were asking if you sent a certain NPC or playable character off in Mass Effect, the one that you like, Jordan.
Oh, you're talking about my situation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I already know you didn't. So, but no, I did not do that. Bronze player. Patrick said, "Oh, that game is from 2007. Let's all be real for a second here."
Yeah, but I also
So-
feel like a lot of people are experiencing it for the first time.
I mean, we talked about Final Fantasy 7 and like Sephiroth killing Aerith, and everyone was like, "That's a spoiler." It's like, That game was
You
from the
never know.
90s.
Yeah, you never know at these points anymore.
And now it doesn't even matter because they changed everything.
Well, the difference though is that game was more publicized than Mass Effect.
That's
Effect
true.
was not as popular, so
That was like that big moment that like got spread everywhere. Everyone, even if you didn't play Final Fantasy 7, you knew that happened. So.
Exactly.
Mass Effect really didn't get popular until the raving reviews of the second game brought a lot more people onto the franchise.
That's true.
Why we got 3 so quick. But the first game, a lot of people slept on it because they had no idea what it was. It was this RPG. A lot of people at that time, I think, were just kind of sleeping on newer RPGs.
Is that going to be? Is that going to be the left? Is that going to be the left field Smash character? Is Commander Shepard?
Yeah, dude. That would be freaking awesome if Commander Shepard was in the game.
You have my attention now.
There we go. See,
that would be so cool. Like if you could pick between Fem Chef and regular. Oh,
there
man.
you go.
That'd be dope.
No one would expect that. No one would see that one coming for a review.
Yeah.
Is
Final Smash? He hits you with the Normandy. Like
the
Normandy comes flying in
and hits you.
You just hear go, Joker come in, like, phew, just flies the ship right in.
Airdrops.
Instead, because when she calls, or when he or she calls for Joker, right? It's instead of Joker from the game, they just have Joker from Persona come in and fly the ship. That'd be great. Why not?
You know what?
Why not? Combine the worlds. His name's Joker anyway.
You okay, Jordan?
Yeah. Why not? Go crazy.
Set 3 talks. I need to have the regular Joker, the Joker from Mass Effect Joker in there.
But it'd be funny.
Patrick,
it would be funny.
Patrick says, shout out from Walmart 2557. So glad my last day is the 21st. We'll be able to watch weekly live again.
Hey.
Nate says, just went Jonin mode on Player Essence channel.
Hey, shout outs, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Beast Slayer says, favorite class in Mass Effect. What we got?
Oh, there's a lot of good classes. There's Vanguard's great. I think Vanguard's cool because you can use pistols, shotguns, and you have biotic powers, and you have good combat powers. But it's tough because all the classes are technically good. Like they're all good. So
yeah, it's more of like what weapons do you want to focus on better. I like sniping in the game, so I went with the name's blanking right now, but I have the one where it's a mix, but mostly I have the sniper.
Soldier. Keep it basic.
Soldier. Keep basic.
Well, they improve, or they fixed the problem, because in the first Mass Effect game, if you weren't adept with using those weapons, you weren't, it was so bad to use them. Now they actually made it to where you can use all the weapons, but it's just you can specialize based on the class. So that was another cool thing that they fixed in the game. That sucks. You have all these weapons on your back, but you can't really use them. Like if you're just certain classes.
Okay, let's just move over now to the Nintendo stuff. There's a lot of talk about Nintendo E3 this past week. Not like necessarily news, but there were a lot of rumors going around this past week. I mean, you heard like all these different games apparently that Nintendo's going to talk about next month, which E3 is in a month. Also, we don't know Nintendo's E3 plans yet, which is interesting because usually they would have announced that around now, if I'm not mistaken. Like usually a month out, they're like, okay, we're going to tune in this day for a direct or something, and then 3 days of Treehouse or something like that following that. But I think, Nate, you pointed that out this past week, that Nintendo usually would at least mention E3 to like their schedule by now.
Yeah, usually they give at least the date of their presentation by now. And I mean, as you said, they've been silent. So kind of wondering, but no company outside of Ubisoft has actually detailed the day that they're going to have their E3 showing. So it seems
there's a lot of organization still going on, I think, in the background, because like E3 legitimately just announced that they're going to have this app. Like this past week, they were like, oh yeah, we're going to have an app where you like sign in and you get achievement points or something, and there's a leaderboard. So I feel like there's still organization and stuff going on in the background, like right now, trying to like figure out these time slots for these companies and how a Treehouse, for example, would work for them, while other companies are going to present as well. So whereas usually it would just be like, all right, free for all almost right after you do your presentation, Nintendo just run a Treehouse for like a good part of the week. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing, is we just need to see how all these companies are going to line up. And I feel like they're just trying to scramble still. Just weird, because you feel like they've had a while to plan this, but it doesn't necessarily seem like it.
They haven't had that long of a time to plan it. The ESA really didn't communicate that E3 was definitely happening this year until I mean, a few months ago, but typically a company like a Nintendo and Ubisoft and Microsoft, they begin planning really what they're going to have at E3 way back in January. January of this year, there was no clear sign that E3 was going to happen. So a lot of this is going to be scrambling, and a lot of people should be going to E3 with caution. It can be a quality 4 days of gaming news and reveals, but everything you hope for is not going to be there. COVID did cripple this industry in a major way last year. It continues to have impacts. So if people go in there saying there was no E3 last year, that means these companies are going to come in with all these big announcements to make up for it. No, they're not. They still have a schedule they have to abide by. They still have to look at, the overall output of the software that they have in the pipeline. It's going to be a nice event, but people have to kind of temper expectations. They're not just going to drop megaton announcements to make up for last year. That's not how this works. This was still an event that they kind of have put together very quickly, and it's going to be good for what they want to deliver, but it's not going to be the end all be all that people are going to hype up in their heads.
I mean E3's basically hyped up like that every year, and very rarely is it like.
And now people, because there wasn't one last year, people are hyping this one up even more because, it's the return of E3. So that means they have to come in with, guns blazing and have this huge event. No, it's still going to be treated as, this is E3. We're going to come in and do our thing. But as we've seen other companies, you have EA say, we're not going to E3. We're going to have our own event in July. So companies still opted out.
Yeah, but did we really?
We're going to host whenever we want. We don't need E3. And some companies who will be at E3 will still have other summer events. E3 is no longer the focus for a lot of these businesses.
I mean, EA wasn't really part of it. I mean, they kind of were. They were on like a Saturday outside of E3 start date because Microsoft was supposed to be the ones that kicked it off. They're right next to it, so everyone just said, "Hey, it's E3," but they didn't really treat it as E3 necessarily.
Technically, I mean, EA in a way kicked off E3 because even Microsoft's event itself was before E3 started. E3 started on Tuesday. Microsoft was always Monday or Sunday.
Yeah. Yep. So they would just do it before a lot of people showed up basically, and then they'd have floor units out.
Media would be there and everything. Media would already be in town. Media would get there Friday because you'd have EA on Saturday.
Yes.
So you're already there ahead of the time, and it was just, hey, the floor opens Tuesday morning. We're going to have you come to our show. You're going to report on our news. It was just a way to kick off things, ease you into it. And then Tuesday is when the gates of hell were unleashed. And that's why Nintendo always did their direct Tuesday morning. Or when they used to have their live press conferences, they chose Tuesday morning deliberately because they'd say, our conference is done. As soon as you leave our presentation, you're going to the demo show floor. You're going to play the games we just announced and showed you. And that was part of their marketing strategy. Now with this all digital event, the fact that we don't have specific dates for a lot of these companies, it really makes you, wonder what exactly is going on behind the scenes. How much confusion is there? Are companies still kind of sitting there saying, we have a general idea of what we want to show, but we're still scrambling to even get certain games in our presentations. We might still be reaching out to companies to try to say, hey, let's use Microsoft as the example. As recently as, earlier this month, they may have said to EA, wait those 4 weeks. We'll have Battlefield 6 in June at our presentation. That's something that would have been decided months ago had this been a traditional E3.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we've even seen some of the trailer leak out already, so we're all basically like, all right, they're just going to drop the trailer at some point at this rate. So it's going to be interesting, I think, a month from now when that happens. But we did have quite a few rumors pop up this week for Nintendo after it looks like a Blogspot posting was listed. This was by Zippo over on Zippo Speaks, and this made the rounds everywhere. I mean, all these websites posted about it, and I do believe that some of these places chose certain parts to talk about because they may have their own knowledge of it, like how Nintendo Life talked about Donkey Kong, and they seem to have their own source around it as well. So I think some specifically chose parts of it, but there's actually quite a few things in here when it comes to, I guess, rumored or unannounced games now, with, for example, 2D Metroid, but I feel like 2D Metroid's we've been talking about 2D Metroid for a long time.
We've discussed 2D Metroid more times than copies the game will sell.
Oh no.
No, hold on. Okay, hold on a minute. This is Metroid. Metroid needs that moment, right? This has to be the big seller for Metroid, right?
No,
It's gonna sell big, right?
I don't know if 2D Metroid will, but 3D Metroid.
This is Switch effect, right? The Switch effect.
Of the two, I think Metroid Prime 4 has the greatest selling potential. But I think people also radically overestimate the appeal of the Metroidvania genre as a whole. Like, if I say to you, what did Hollow Knight sell?
3 million.
2.8 million is the last official figure.
Yeah.
2.8 million. Like, and that's the thing, those people say, oh, you know, the 2D Metroid is going to be great. Hollow Knight's not at 3 million yet. It was a $15 game. It's praised universally. So I mean, let's say that's the ceiling for a 2D Metroid game. 2.8 million. It would be the best-selling Metroid game.
Yeah,
it's a fine number. But like, you have people already come out like, it's 5 million. Like, let's bring this number down. If it can sell 2.5 million, let's all be very happy for that success.
That'd be good for a Metroid game. That'd be good.
My thing is
better than Samus Returns too. That'd be a lot better than Samus Returns.
Samus Returns sold like 5 copies. My thing is, I don't know optics wise, as a general consumer, that Nintendo could go out there and be like, hey, here's a 2D Metroid. Hey, here's a 2D Donkey Kong. It's like, what fucking year are we in here? Like, and I would enjoy them. I think everyone on this panel would enjoy them.
Yeah.
But mass appeal wise and optics wise, I just think it would be kind of weird to have 2 2D games and franchises that you haven't had a new game since 2014 for Donkey Kong and 2016. I'm not really counting Samus Returns. I'll count Federation Force, but 2016 for Metroid. Like,
You gonna count that game?
I mean, no, I love
go back
Samus
to Other
Returns,
M.
but I mean, it really was, it was just a remake essentially.
Okay, so this one apparently 60 frames per second. That's good. The 2D Metroid. I kind of expect that from a 2D Metroid style game though on the Switch. But Donkey Kong was the other one. There was some back and forth on it between 2D or 3D. It does appear to be 2D though, and that's kind of what I was expecting as well for it. So that one's going to be weird.
2D makes sense for Donkey Kong only because, I mean, in my opinion, I would have loved for them to go 3D like Donkey Kong 64. It would have been more ambitious. It would have been very exciting. 2D games sell better because they have more casual appeal when you look at like 2D platformers. There's a reason New Super Mario Brothers sells better than 3D Mario games, at least traditionally. We haven't had a 2D Mario game.
I say it's because it's Mario.
Like, we don't really have a good example of it on the Switch because we don't have an original 2D Mario.
Well, yeah, but that's still sold really well. So over 10 million copies for the one. They didn't even take the U out of the title.
No.
They were just like, we don't gotta do that. It's Mario.
Well. So that's the thing with like a Donkey Kong. If you go 2D, but Donkey Kong still, Tropical Freeze couldn't sell.
It's a great game. It should have sold.
Still couldn't sell.
Is that because of the character then versus Mario? Like Donkey Kong's not gonna sell more than Mario is what I mean.
Yeah.
No, it'll never come close.
So you got to do something more with the Donkey Kong franchise. Just be like, it's another 2D one.
If it was a new 2D game, I think it would do considerably better than Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I think it would go back to almost where it was on the Wii.
You think it can rival Donkey Kong Country Returns?
Maybe it doesn't reach as many sales, but I think it can get closer if they have some really fresh ideas. I think the problem with Tropical Freeze is that maybe it was a little bit too close. It's way better. I think it's much better than Returns, but I think it's just a little too close to it.
What can you really do with Donkey Kong
wise
in the 2D? Art
style wise and game design wise, like what you do. Like Tropical Freeze in terms of how Retro does it might be completely different based on if the team is what they're saying. It's the Odyssey team. They might have completely different ideas that even though it's 2D or maybe it's 2.5D, maybe they do some different things and maybe like Crash Bandicoot, kind of how like you can go into a
like
stage.
Different perspectives.
Yeah, different perspectives. They can do some different things that maybe Retro Studios can't do because it's the Odyssey team, if it's there, or it's the Mario team. So I feel that if that's appealing along with an actual nice graphic boost to the game, I think that it can get back to being where Donkey Kong was because the Super Nintendo games sold extremely well too on much smaller install bases.
Yes.
So I think it can get back there. They just need something new, a little bit more of a fresh.
They need a unique pull, be it visual or a gameplay gimmick to really say, like, look how this is. You can't go like Donkey Kong type unique where you need bongos, but you need some sort of gameplay gimmick to lure in people. And that kind of, it reminds me of like even the 2D Metroid topic. if 2D Metroid comes out with the visual style that is accurate to what we have known for 2D Metroid games, it will look clean, it will look nice. But I feel like if 2D Metroid could evolve and you could get a better art style, like a Hollow Knight and Ori, that type of visual display, that would lure in new people because it would stand out. Taking like Samus Returns and making that HD, it's going to look very impressive. But it's just like...
No, I wouldn't want that, to be honest, man.
If we're speaking on all these 2D type games, something like there's a lot of love in the chat for this one, and I think that'd be really cool. If not a new one, at minimum, a new like a redone version of Wario Land 4.
There we go.
Or a new Wario Land in general, and
No,
keep
I'd be okay with
the
that.
art style of Shake It, where it looked like a cartoon. If they can do a 2D look without having to give it like that 2.5 3D look, and make it look like a really cool cartoon. Not in the style of like Cuphead or anything, but look at the Shake It on the Wii.
Yeah.
The art style on that was great for being a cartoon game.
I must wonder if some of these bigger companies look at the idea of 2D games and just be like, all right, how can we make this feel like it's worth like $6? Or in Sony's case, how can we make this feel like it's like a $70 game? Kind of
Sony doesn't make 2D games.
But that's what I mean. Like that, if they wanted to, they'd be like, well, we got to figure out how to make it feel like it's worth that kind of money. Is almost my thought there.
And I think a part of that is the presentation. I think if you could look at Hollow Knight, and if they said this game was $60, I think a lot of people would say it's worth $60.
You think so? You think a lot of people would say that?
Well, I
don't think so either.
They'd be out. They'd be out.
I don't know.
That's the problem. Metroid, there's the problem is there's a million fucking 2D platformers. There's a million fucking 2D Metroidvania games out there already for a fraction of the price. I don't care that Donkey Kong used to be, and it still is one of the greatest 2D platformers. I don't care that Metroid was one of the best Metroidvania games of all time. Times change, and with times changing, you have to adapt to it. So you know it's tough. Nintendo used to be able to rely on a handheld system and throw out a couple 2D games on there, $40, nobody gives a shit. But when you start talking about $60, you're talking about these IPs that haven't been represented well on consoles. Look at Metroid, look at Donkey Kong. Like I said, 2014 since the last home console Donkey Kong. Oh my god, the heater's so stupid. You gotta I don't know. To me personally, I think if they came out with Prime Trilogy HD at E3, it would be more impactful than a new 2D Metroid would be. My personal opinion.
I
probably
would agree with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who didn't play the whole Metroid Prime games, so yeah, that'd be like new games for quite a few people. But I mean, a 2D Metroid would be cool because I'll get it, I'll play it. I wonder if they'll just call it Metroid V or Metroid 5 or something, or they'll come up with a different title. But
they according to the thing, they want to avoid the country moniker.
Oh, I meant for Metroid, but yeah, for DK.
Oh, sorry.
For DK, yeah, they'll probably come up with their own original title.
I just want to say that Donkey Kong 64 sold 5.3 million copies. That blew my fucking mind. When
Let's go 3D. Let's go DK. Yeah,
that's crazy.
The reason for that,
for
that is because they packaged it with the expansion pack, and a lot of people were like, and the price was actually good because they couldn't get the game working without it, so they were just like, throw it in there, I guess. And some people were able to find the game with the expansion pack for the same price as the expansion pack at the time because the expansion pack was like blown up in price. From what I remember, it was hard to find just by itself. So people were like, even if it's $20 more, I'll get DK64 with it. Why not?
Dude,
it was also a pretty hyped release, though.
No, it was clout back in the day. DK was like super clout.
Remember the cartoon? Hey yo, look out down below. Here it comes, Banana Slammer.
Maybe one day I'll
rap. He had the rap.
I remember people were like, did he curse in the rap? Do you remember that? I think they changed it in like the later version of the game because he said he's a hell of a Kong.
Oh yeah, but he's also like, if he shoots, you're.
Yeah. It was great. Those are the good days.
That used to be a major franchise, man.
If you think about it, Donkey Kong has to be one of the most fascinating franchises because it was super hot when it first came out 40 years ago, and like people were like obsessed with it, and then it sort of fizzled out a little bit, and then it came back, and it was just like a huge phenomenon again. Like it usually just carries over or it fizzles out and dies. You don't see like a rebirth of it. Bring back a cartoon.
I would agree with that. I think also if they could give more personality and like lend to the different characters, I think that would really do well too.
Oh man, now I want a 3D Donkey Kong game.
I would
Mario versus
love a
Donkey Kong?
3D. If freaking plays Tiny Kong again. Or
They had
Big-
multiplayer too. Oh, it was like basically like a shooter at times. Like you'd run around with like the what's his name? Lanky Kong had the big like the blow dart.
Yeah.
But y'all gotta know
God.
that game though. There was that Donkey Kong.
the fetch
64.
quest. The fetch quest killed it.
The amount of collecting was just absurd.
Modern.
You know,
Back then I said it was absurd. I was like, dude, this is absurd. Even back then I was saying this is absurd.
I mean,
Nah, I was
a
like, this
kid,
is
I enjoyed
amazing.
it. Yeah, I was a kid. I enjoyed it. So.
I have a
don't know.
confession. I didn't play Donkey Kong 64 till I was an adult. So I've played like 1 hour of Donkey Kong 64, and I'm like, fuck this game to the pit of hell. I could see it
time
being
to get
awesome if I was
At
a
the
kid,
time,
but
yeah.
that's kind of why I want a 3D Donkey Kong game because I didn't get that experience as a kid, and you can't really go back to that game because it's just
true.
Maybe they'll bring it to the Switch through like the 64 stuff.
no. I want a new one. I want a properly playing one. Super Mario 64 just poo poos all over
If
it.
you're gonna bring an old Donkey Kong to the Switch, you're bringing Donkey Kong 94.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good game.
That game is
game's fucking
incredible.
amazing.
It's pretty cool bananas.
Well, whatever you bring back, it's got to be something that hooks new people to the franchise, not just nostalgia. I feel like.
I like the 3D Donkey Kong. I mean, I
No,
guess it would cost more money. I guess
It would cost a lot more money. It would definitely just be that more ambitious, exciting release.
Yeah.
Well,
The
and we know
2D1
Nintendo's
is the
struggling
smart
this
business play,
generation.
though.
They can't be spending that money. We're struggling a little bit. You know, things. Come on, fuck that. You're making money. When you're making money, these are the times that you take chances. These are the times.
I mean, they're making money by accident. There's no way they thought Super Mario Party was going to sell like 15 million copies.
But it doesn't matter. You know, scared money don't make money. Somebody told me that once.
I think they'll do 3D if they felt that they can get a good 3D game going, they'll do it. But maybe they felt
they
that they had
made
better
Super
ideas.
Mario Odyssey. That was pretty fucking good. Like,
Oh yeah, but Mario's had a
Mario,
proven track record of 3D.
you know what you do? You fucking just copy King Kong story, and with Donkey Kong, that's all you do. We've talked about this before on the channel.
You want the gritty Donkey Kong
it
story
doesn't
where they
even
go to an
necessarily-
island and they take them and they try to use them for profits and
And then you play as Donkey Kong, and then you have to
Rampaging
escape
through
the
a city?
island. Then yes, it's New Dog City. They bring them to
my
New
God.
Dog City, and then they put them on display, and then you have this
you know what?
huge section of the game. It'd be fucking
You
amazing.
didn't have me in the first half, but you sold me in the second half.
Hey.
I'm on board.
Let's
I'm in.
do it.
I'm in.
Get Diddy Kong. You know,
He's racing.
Yeah, you
Dixie
can do so
Kong.
much.
Get Dixie's my favorite, so get Dixie, get Diddy. Let's go.
Funky Kong can come. He is a
Diddy was awesome because he had like the peanut shooters. Those are
Yes.
great in multiplayer. They would just rapid fire off.
And I liked him because he did cartwheels instead of the rolls, and I thought cartwheels.
did
were
cartwheels.
Cool. Yes, he did
Yep.
cartwheels instead. And Dixie has hair, and she spins her hair around. She can fly, and that's also dope too. So, yeah.
Another section talks about Fire Emblem. I don't know if you looked into this one, OJ, because I know you're a big
did.
Fire Emblem fan.
Yes, I did.
They're talking about a remake of the Japan-only Super Famicom title, Genealogy of the Holy War.
Yes, the Holy War. That's one of the most elusive games in the Fire Emblem history in terms of what fans want. So yeah, one of the most complex ones. Many feel that it is the best. Well, the hardcore, nerdy Fire Emblem dudes feel like it's the best one out of all of them because of the depth of the characters and the story. So yeah, that's
We're talking a full remake to the Switch. So you go from Super Famicom to Switch. That'd be pretty big.
like an Echoes title. So like you guys remember Shadows of Valentia on the 3DS? So
Yep.
they have like that branding of Echoes. So bringing that back, but with this one here. Now I'm not sure what they would do. Like it's not apparently it wouldn't be Koei Tecmo. So it would be Koei. They even talk about Koei Tecmo doing a different Fire Emblem game. So it would be the actual intelligent systems because a lot of Three Houses was made by Koei Tecmo. So it would be intelligent systems doing this one. So it would be interesting to see the look of the game. Because that was one of the issues that some people had with the graphics of Three Houses.
I mean, this is a risky endeavor, I feel slightly, only because you had a lot of new fans come in with, Fire Emblem on Switch, and it is a radically different game.
It really is.
This isn't even going to be close to what they've played. So you're going to come into this older style, but they could change it. They could update it. And if you update it too much, you lose the essence of what made the original great.
Okay.
So
I mean,
this has to be a perfect balance of how they approach this game. I would prefer the Echo style of this is how the game was. We've modernized it. If you don't like the combat triangle, too bad. Deal with it. We don't have a lot of heavy dialogue. We're not going to be that RPG that Three Houses is. We're going back to the strategy RPG of old. The game's going to kick your ass. Adapt and learn. I like that style of Fire Emblem. I liked those older Fire Emblem games.
Do you like Echoes and what they did with the modernization of that game? Like Shadows of, because like they modernized it to the point to where you can play it though. You can play every old school. You can play every Fire Emblem old school if you want to, even Three Houses. But they gave you enough tools and options for those who don't. So I think they're gonna if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do something like that. It'd be like Shadows of Valentia. So
yeah, if they can go with the Shadows of Valentia type approach, I think that would be the best route for them. But you're not going to bring in any of the new fans with this.
Yes, they will. I'll force them. I'll force them to
You'll force them.
You'll play this game with Marth, and you'll enjoy it.
I will force them to do it.
And then Zippo also mentioned Super Mario Party 2, which does seem very obvious at this point because I just said, Super Mario Party sold like a stupid amount, like an amount I don't even think they expected.
John, don't you know if it's coming or not? Tell us. Just go ahead and tell us, right?
Yeah, they're doing. Yes, they're gonna do Super Mario Party 2 instead of do DLC with new boards and sell that. There you go, Super Mario Party 2. Sure. That's
you get a bonus though. If you have saved data, you'll get like a little like extra Mario figurine or something like that.
That'll be an update. That'll be an update 2 years after release. I mean that's where the boards I guess will be added. Hopefully there's a lot of variety and fun stuff to it. But I'm pretty sure we're seeing Super Mario Party 2 come out. I can't even believe that one sold as well as it did. That's the best selling Mario Party ever.
Speaking of Mario Party, I would like to make it known that I beat OJ at Mario Party yesterday.
Oh,
she didn't. She actually didn't beat me in Mario, but she got lucky at the end where they give you the crazy, stupid, random bonus stars. That's during the actual game. She actually got bodied. You got low key bodied.
It's on VOD. It's okay.
It's on low key. But what happened in the Nintendo Pentathlon?
You don't have to get mad.
Actual skill. What happened? This is luck.
You also didn't understand math, dude.
You got lucky.
This dude's out here trying to count spaces and he couldn't figure it out for like
that
30
game
minutes
mode's
straight.
trash. Be quiet. That game mode is garbage. Did you guys know there's a game mode of Super Mario Party that you get a certain amount of like rolls, right? And like there's like the star, and you have to land directly on it with the spaces. If you don't have enough, like if you do more, you go right by it.
Yep, you go past it.
Why did they do that? Why is that even a thing? That's absurd. That's the reason why she won.
Okay.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why. It's a stupid game. Screw that game.
Then we had the Zelda 35th anniversary stuff. It's pretty straightforward. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Talked about that like months ago.
Yeah, I could talk about that forever, but I'd rather just wait and see at this point.
I'd pretty much expect that. What else we'll see, but Breath of the Wild 2. People are saying it might be out this year, might be out next year. I feel like Nintendo wants it for the holiday, but I mean, they could release it in March and it'd be fine.
I'm thinking fiscal year.
March.
I agree. I think they want it for holiday. If it happens, cool. If not, March. I mean, it'd be 5
What's
years.
their holiday game then?
Pokemon.
Well, I think there's a wild card that might be announced to be thrown out in like September. No.
Is it Mario Kart? Mario Kart 9?
Fuck no.
No,
don't
I won't
believe
say that.
shit.
I think they're gonna put out by itself Super Mario Galaxy 2. I think we're finally gonna get that release.
That ain't no holiday game.
That'd be interesting. Super Mario Galaxy 2.
They could just throw it out in September, like at the end of September.
Oh, you mean the Wii game? Just put on the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Oh, my bad. I thought you said Super Mario Galaxy 3 for a second.
So,
You just mean like the original. Okay.
You don't think the collection's gonna be holiday?
The Zelda collection.
Yeah, you don't think that's
That'll
gonna
probably
be
just be
holiday?
dropped in there. I mean, they still have to somehow work in Bayonetta 3 because that's coming out this year, right?
No.
Yes.
Because people told me it was coming out like 2 years ago. So.
I'll say it every year until it comes out. So I'll be right at some point.
That's
Man,
true.
this better be like an open world like Bayonetta or something. Like something must be going on with this thing.
You're gonna have multiple playable characters. You're going to play as Kamiya. He's gonna be in there. You're gonna have options to where he can block you straight from there. It's like just automatic block. It's going to be great. Trust me.
It'd be funny if they announce an Astral Chain 2 and then that comes out before Bayonetta does. That'd be really fun.
That.
That should not happen. That's not.
You know what? I have a sneaky
That should not
suspicion. It's
happen.
been long enough. Astral Chain 2 is coming.
No. There's no. If there was an Astral Chain 2, I would have heard about it. Nate, is there an Astral Chain 2? Do you know if there's an Astral Chain 2 at all?
What?
Oh, the way he said that. Wait.
It's called Scarlet Nexus.
Oh,
Made by
There you go. So we think Breath of the Wild.
The wonderful 102. That's the game everyone wants, right?
Oh,
yeah.
So we think Breath of the Wild. We think Breath of the Wild 2 is next year, probably like March to finish up the fiscal
Hopefully
year.
anniversary. Yeah.
That
March,
makes sense.
February.
5
Drop
years.
it in there.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna miss the rematch of Horizon and Zelda then for Game of the Year.
Said
Will
that.
we though? Will we?
Oh, interesting. So you think that because Sony just confirmed that Horizon's coming out this year, didn't they?
No, they didn't. People should really read that article a little closer. The editor and the author of the article was simply stating the official line that Sony's given several months ago. They just reiterated that the game was supposed to come out this year because that's the last thing Sony said about it. Sony did not make any comment regarding Horizon Forbidden West release date.
Interesting. So you think Horizon's gonna miss this year too?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people need to read the article a little closer. Sony did not comment on the release date.
Listen,
I think Horizon's coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm going with Horizon this year.
I think Horizon's coming out this year.
I think God of War is going to be pushed to early next year.
2023.
April.
Like, what else would they have for the holiday, right? If there's no Horizon.
I mean, what did Xbox have for the holiday? A system. What does
Xbox has
Xbox have for
Game Pass. They have Game Pass. They just have Game Pass.
They just have Game Pass.
It's just Game Pass. Honestly, they're just selling the system on Game Pass, which is working, right?
Yeah, I mean they had to basically buy Yakuza Like a Dragon for 6 months or something.
It worked for
Game Pass.
They're going to have
It did.
Starfield, right?
Starfield.
Yeah, there you go. For this holiday they'll have Halo.
Yeah.
And then they said Mario Kart. Okay, so new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 9. There you go.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
I'm a
feel like
little
it's about time, but I'm skeptical.
I'm a little skeptical on that one too, at least for this year.
I think that's a Switch.
I think they're going to try to make that a cross-gen game anyway. This is going to be like, it's going to be on this Switch, this is going to be on the next
That would
Switch.
make sense. Yeah.
We're going to get 2 systems out of this one.
I mean, I think we will hear something potentially this fiscal year from the Mario Kart team. They're overdue for an announcement. Their last game, at least for the Switch, was ARMS. Their last actual involvement with a game was Mario Kart Tour, but they are due for an announcement of their new project.
Legs.
Oh gosh.
4-2.
Another ARMS game.
Legs.
What's wrong with another ARMS game? ARMS was good.
No, we
Please,
want
no.
legs now.
Thighs.
What would sell better though, ARMS or 2D Metroid?
Dude,
Well, hold on. That's actually a good question.
ARMS sold like 3 mil, didn't it?
Yeah, that's.
Almost, yeah.
That's a good question actually. Should we?
ARMS a bigger property than
but
Metroid?
Hold on. We're talking about like 2D Metroid sold on like
Nintendo
DS
Switch for
and stuff.
$60.
This is going to be good.
No,
So we'll have it on.
We
on
haven't
the
had
Switch.
a 2D Metroid come out on Switch yet, right?
No, but that's
Right.
what I'm saying. That's what the
Yeah, this will be
rumors, but-
interesting. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think for sure we're gonna see higher numbers definitely on that. Just
For what,
I don't
Metroid?
know.
I like
Based
that
on
question,
what?
Sean. That's a good comparison, Sean.
Hey,
So we're
based
gonna have.
on what? Because if you look at trends, it doesn't look too
Okay,
good.
so here's a scenario that I give you. If the game, let's just say the game is hella high rated, like 85 plus 90. Let's just say it gets 90. It's easily gonna cross past ARMS. 3 million plus. 90
No.
rated game, good content. Yes.
Based on what?
Based on the install base of the Switch, based on the drought of Metroid games, okay, and based off of Metroid fans knowing that they need to do
A lot
something.
of talk
Wait.
coming from the Metroid fans too. So
So what you're telling me is a system that has over 75 million units sold worldwide, that gets a 2D Metroid game that gets like, let's say an 85 on Metacritic would be.
You're gonna bring up the Game Boy Advance. I know you are.
3 million arms. No, I'm bringing up Metroid: Samus Returns. An 85 on Metacritic with 75.
But if that was on the Switch, it would have done better.
Came out on Switch, would have sold better. On the 3DS when the Switch was already announced, and people wanted games on the Switch.
Every time
but
they talk about the 3DS.
It's not like the Switch had a huge install base at this point in time. The 3DS still had a huge install base.
It was like the last DS game, right? One of the last ones released. I mean, a lot of people kind of, like they kind of start moving on. They start saving.
They were playing all those awesome Switch games like Super Bomberman R and Has Been Heroes. Like, come on, there wasn't all that much shit out.
By the time that game came out, there was Splatoon. Splatoon 2 was out. ARMS was out.
Breath of the Wild.
What's it called was out. Mario plus Rabbids was out. Pokken Tournament was out. There was a number of games out.
You want to know what's a true shame? Is that Metroid Zero Mission only sold like 750,000 copies.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Now, here's the excuse for. No, I'm joking.
There is no excuse for that.
I mean,
there's no excuse for that. Yeah, there's no.
Can you get someone was saying you could get Zero Mission and stuff on Wii U, right? Is that still available?
Yes.
Virtual console, yeah.
They should bring those over to Nintendo Switch Online. I think a lot of people
do a lot of stuff with Nintendo Switch Online.
I know, but even like bring the Metroid stuff over. But like, I feel like a lot of people would give them a try, and I feel like Zero Mission and stuff really gives in-depth looks at the characters and stuff. So I think it'd be good prep for people.
I think it'd be a great idea. Absolutely, just bring all the
NES, NES, and they should put Metroid NES and Super Metroid on there too. Oh wait, they already did. Yay! The Bucks win. Gosh. Excellent.
Okay, so let's do it right now. Okay, you think 2D Metroid, when that gets announced and it releases, do you think it outsells ARMS?
Yes.
No.
I'm
man,
on the Sean boat. I'm on the Sean boat.
I'll say.
I look at numbers, statistics, and data.
So you're not going to give the Switch effect. You're not going to give.
Can you name me one Metroid game that sold over 3 million copies?
No.
I can technically give you one.
No, you can't.
Technically. Yeah,
what?
Federation Force.
Give me
Just give me some fuckery.
Your original Metroid Prime, right? Okay. And then you add in Metroid Prime Trilogy. Damn, 3 million, baby. Am I not correct?
So
technically,
I'm correct. Thank you, sir.
I think it will outsell ARMS overall. I don't know if it's gonna be by much, but I think it will. I think it'll get there.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what it sells. I just want to play it and enjoy it.
Same.
I just
Metroid fans need to show up. Let's see the Metroid fans.
Metroid game.
Okay, well, first it has to be good, right? Like, we can't be like, oh, it's a 60, you got to go buy it. Obviously, if it comes out and it's like, hey, this is a great 2D Metroid game on the Switch, it's like an 85 up or whatever. Yeah, it's like, yeah, this should sell well enough. So,
I mean, I think a new 2D Metroid game actually has a lot of competition to really, be judged against now. It's going to be judged against Ori. It's going to be judged against Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
If you can't just come in with a good 2D Metroid, you have to come in with an amazing, outstanding 2D Metroid to get these high scores. Because if reviewers are going to look at it and say this isn't as good as Hollow Knight, and it's 4 times the price.
That's a good point.
I mean, it might still get 8. It can still be a damn good game. But it just has a lot of competition. And as Sean brought up earlier, there's a lot of Metroidvania games from indie studios. And a lot of them are really good. Here comes the Mercury with their own original 2D Metroid game.
They're not the bounty hunter.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, branding is pretty important for this. That's why Nintendo can move Wii U games over and they outsell games like Horizon Zero Dawn and all this stuff.
But technically, Hollow Knight has outsold Samus Returns by a large amount.
I just think that,
and it sold other outsold other.
I think Nintendo is planning to put Metroid as one of their top big future pushes of game series. So I do think like I've said on previous shows with 4, where it's going to be setting up something brand new for the future of Metroid. I think they're going to hype it up, whether that's also the trilogy, this brand new game. I think if they announce this 2D game, I think that means we'll get an update. Like they're going to talk a lot about Metroid really quick at once. With one game coming out and say, okay, 4 is on the way. Here's this other game. Get hyped for Metroid. The trilogy drops in this month. Get ready for it. And then the 4th game finally will eventually come out. And I do think they're going to start hyping this series up to be big. And I think that's why we've just kind of been silent on it, because I think they're planning something big for it. And I think there is a little bit of switch effect when it comes to a lot of games like this, where everyone will kind of get hyped that Metroid is back, and word of mouth will spread, and streamers will play it, and people want to get into it. Where I do think at minimum it'll sell 3 million. A 2D version will sell that. I think the trilogy could do 5 to 8 million, because that's going to be exciting for people to go play those games for the first time for a lot of people. And then the 4th game drops, and if everyone's loved everything else, then 4th game is going to be huge. Especially for us, the people who've been waiting for it. So I think Nintendo has a lot for Metroid coming up, and I do think they're going to put it as one of their front runner franchises again.
I disagree, because Japan doesn't give a fuck about the franchise, and
Right. But that's
Japanese
fair.
company.
But they have to do some catering here and there, and I do think if this is a huge hit and everywhere else outside of Japan, they're going to care. They're going to care greatly. So.
Bring back Star Fox.
There you go.
I agree.
All right. Evan, we got Discord question over there.
We had 2 people ask kind of the same thing. Which open world game has the best side quests? This guy was talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, and then we had another guy asking between Breath of the Wild and Witcher 3, which one had better side quests?
The best side quest would be Witcher 3. I was about to say it's got to be Witcher 3. Some of those side quests turned into basically main quests.
Yeah.
I would say Witcher 3 or even Red Dead 2. I thought Red Dead 2 had
Okay.
some really
Yeah.
good
Any of these open world games where they don't feel like side quests, but they feel like full main quests from other games, basically, that kind of depth to them are very good. But Witcher 3 definitely stands out as one of those top tier games with side quests like that.
I mean, maybe this example is kind of stupid because the main quest of the game is kind of but like Cyberpunk, like the side quests are way better than the main story in that game. They're way more interesting, way better written. Doesn't say much because a lot of the game is well, you know what happened, but I would say those side quests are worth checking out the game if you ever get into it, because there's some really good stories.
Okay, and we got another Discord question. I'll go to Super Chats, and we'll go to our final topic. It's mostly there for Sean, so we can talk about AAA nights.
Would Microsoft abandon the Xbox Series S in like 3 years, or would they try to keep it going forward?
Oh, they'll keep. I mean, they'll keep it going. In fact, I think they'll actually build on it and make it so that like the internal storage gets larger. Like they'll have like a 1 terabyte version of it or something.
I mean, Phil Spencer has already said that he's looking to the Series S as probably being the bigger seller of the 2 SKUs moving forward, especially in developing areas who can't afford the premium model. They're going to go for the more budget, affordable option of the Series S. So that's a vital pillar to everything that they're working towards. They want that affordable entry point to Game Pass, and Series S is always going to be marketed as that entry point.
It also makes some more money too, because if you buy that, you're just buying games from Microsoft, or you're subscribing to Game Pass. You're not going to the store and getting a disc. So they want that to be the best selling one.
They want that, and they wouldn't get rid of that. So
okay, let's go to Super Chats here. Dragoon says, in relation to Rich's mistake this week, what was the most memorable mistake you made as a content creator?
Not following through with the content I truly want to make and being told I shouldn't do something. So
most memorable mistake. I stayed up till 2 a.m. hoping that the Vita 5G would be announced.
I thought that there was a super powered Nintendo Switch that was coming. Is
there a live stream where we could see this happen in real time?
You can watch OJ's soul leave his body.
that was probably my biggest mistake.
I sneezed on stream.
I showed my ass on stream.
That was...
Yeah, but now we're getting sponsored, so that's not a mistake.
Was that a marketing? Yeah, that was marketing.
Really? Because all of a
world may
sudden,
never know.
are we sure it was a mistake? Because all of a sudden, the SpawnCast gets sponsors.
Marketing, man.
I play 4D chess. You know, I'm looking
Which
at.
I mean, we even have the callback for whenever Manscaped comes knocking.
What are we gonna do? Show a before and after picture?
I mean, no, you can. I mean, I use the lawnmower on my chest too, to like, because it comes with a little head
What?
thing that you can adjust.
It's called a lawnmower.
Yeah, they actually have
A
a
lawnmower 3.0.
There's a
You haven't heard of it?
4.0 now.
Is it Bluetooth?
There's a
But it-
4.0.
I don't
Yeah.
need one, so
It has an attachment, and you can like make
This isn't
it.
sponsored, by the
You know,
way.
so you could trim it. Works good. I use it to trim chest hair.
There you go.
nice.
There you go. It's from Review Tech USA, Rich. Glad to catch this live. Hope all is well, everyone. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it. Aiden says, so when is Nate becoming a cute VTuber that yells at us, Evan?
It's whenever he can get a computer that can run it. And
Yeah,
actually-
Nate's
and not
computer-
freak out.
Nate's computer like explodes when he opens Discord, so
That's not true.
he can't run a VTuber.
I'm just not gonna run like Steam with Discord with OBS.
Yeah,
and...
he spent a week practicing on whatever program he was using and it worked. And then the moment he boots Discord, it didn't work, and he was just like, "I give up."
I did.
Yeah,
I
Nate's
practiced
using-
it. I had
Nate's using, like,
I had the lips moving and everything. I even adjusted in OBS so you wouldn't see like the off camera. So it just literally center was the VTube character. And then we were going to do this, and I did the OBS camera link in Discord, and it just wasn't finding it. I was like, "You worked for 5 days." It's like, so
It's-
go to
We
hell.
need to get you a gaming PC.
Rich, yeah. It might be time for you, Nate, to get a
I don't
PC.
want a game.
Just-
Just-
that
I need
laptop.
you.
It's on
I
my
need
Dell
you as an
laptop.
anime schoolgirl to say "kawaii desu," and I just want to record it.
Yes,
What
be great.
did you just say?
you heard the man.
It's gonna happen.
Have him on camera going like this.
Yes.
No, just deadpan. I want it to be just deadpan faced.
So we gotta apparently get Nate a computer, and then we need to send
Are
it to
you
him.
listening to this Alienware?
No, we need to send it to him in
You.
pieces and make him put it together.
Oh God.
Ooh, Sean can
Sean
help.
making a labo kit.
No, it's just you get all the pieces and you have to try to put it together, but you don't have any access to the internet. So you got to try to build it on your own.
Yeah, but what
And
if
then
I
we
You know he's
accidentally
gonna, like,
wear
sort
socks in a
something out,
carpeted room and I
I was
static
gonna
shock it?
say, he's gonna shock something.
Yeah, we film it.
Like
We
my
film
cat
it.
will walk by and all of a sudden just hit, and I'm like, well, it's dead.
Yeah, we gotta find Nate a PC so he can just be a VTuber for the podcast.
Oh, it'd be so good.
I don't want to be an anime VTuber.
That's where it
But
starts, and then someone
but
makes
everyone
you the
else wants
smog
you to be one.
character. It'll be good.
Yeah, I need to be the
whatever.
Fern Gully thing. I need to be the Tim Curry Fern Gully Toxic Cloud.
This is from Zaire Miller saying, "Has anyone watched season 4 of Castlevania? I still need to watch it.
I
So
watched
maybe
it.
I'll watch
We
it.
already answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone else asked, but I watched it. It was really good.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
It was
Okay,
really
cool.
good.
Jason says, "Do you think a beta for Halo will be during E3 2021?" I would like to think that they'd be like, "Hey, we're starting flights now," but they probably announce it like a couple weeks in advance. I think we will have a flight over the summer though. Maybe July, somewhere in there. I could see that happening though, and they might announce plans to do that at E3 with like a post following that.
If the game drops in November, I say beta September.
You know, everyone keeps saying November, but I kind of feel like Halo might show up in like September, October.
If it does, then July. I fully see July having a beta. But if it's not, if it's a November release date, I think September is when they're gonna do testing with it.
Yeah. I think we will get a flight though. Yeah, I think they will do that for just at least multiplayer, like a map or two or something. This is from Al saying, "Who's the newcomer with the tank top? Never seen him here before." Also, do you think Nintendo will implement proper USB-C compatibility in the Pro? That's a good question. I don't know. We'll see about this Switch revision that's kind of gone quiet a bit recently. so.
What is proper USB-C? What is that? What do they mean by that? Compatibility? Proper USB-C?
I don't know if they mean the power delivery for it, because there were some concerns about the dock or any extra features that can be used now versus 2017, like Thunderbolt or any of these other things. I feel like they want to keep it cheaper though, and like I don't think they're looking to make like all these crazy improvements to it if they're not going to necessarily use them with the revision, because people were wondering if they could do things with the dock and all of this, and I don't necessarily know if they would do that with the type of USB-C that they're using currently with the limitations that it has. I mean, it's even on an older HDMI input right now for things like 4K 60 as an example when playing a game, or HDR. So I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the Switch revision stuff's gone kind of quiet recently. So if it's supposed to start production in June or July, like was it Bloomberg said, you probably see leaks from the factory then. Anna Studio said, "Is your name John or John?" It's John. Ice says,
okay.
It's John with no H. It's that one. Ice says, how come Nintendo haven't had a crossover game between Star Fox and Metroid? That would boost both franchises. Well, okay, which one would boost which? Which one would boost which, though? Because
They just cancel each other out.
People tend to overestimate. Like, why do they think that just because you cross something over, all of a sudden it makes it a better game? Like,
I personally think it'd be kind of corny.
Which one's helping?
I would definitely think it'd be corny.
I am curious.
Yes.
Okay, if you had to, which one's helping up the other, though? Okay, Star Fox. Who's helping who?
Star Fox is probably helping Metroid.
You think so?
Star Fox has a bigger. Star Fox had at their peak. Star Fox was the most popular at their peak. So Star Fox would probably help out, but we need a good Star Fox game and a good Metroid game. Why would we need this separate?
Just in the middle of this gritty space battle with Samus and all this stuff, and all of a sudden an anthropomorphic talking fox and Toad and Bunny just come in out of nowhere.
Like it worked for Subspace Emissary, right? Like when you see like Samus like saving Pikachu. Yeah, it was freaking adorable, dude. Like Pikachu's a freaking generator. She saves him and they're running and she sees the powers.
Listen, that almost feels like fan fiction.
Hold on, what I'm saying is that's Smash. Like if you're gonna try like an actual story, you know, like Star Fox's attitude, scripting, the music, it's a completely different. It's much more like grandiose feel versus Metroid. It's more dark, gritty, alone. You know, like inner monologue kind of stuff. It's just two totally different ballparks. I love them both, but for different reasons.
Let me say something.
Rumor years ago. Like, didn't Paul?
It was a fake
that rumor.
A fake rumor. But remember, guys, when we all said, "Yo, you know what'd be great? Fire Emblem." Well, not all of us, but Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei. That would be a fantastic game.
But it was.
And they couldn't even get that done. And those are two freaking turn-based RPGs, and they couldn't even get that done properly.
It was a good game.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions was great. It was, but there's no way in hell
anyone wanted.
There was no way in hell that's what they wanted to make originally was Tokyo Mirage. They had to change it because they couldn't get it to work, and that's two old school RPG franchises. So it's not as easy as what people think.
That game could have been so cool if they went the darker route. Instead,
you don't like singing? Idle singing?
Oh, the game was great. It was just that was so much Persona, and it wasn't SMT.
It was the funny thing is that wasn't even really. It was like its own weird, like completely weird thing. The gameplay is great though. The gameplay is fantastic.
The gameplay is fantastic. I would take a sequel.
Let me go to Wolfman. It says, it's been a long time since I've seen you guys live. So love you guys. Zoob says, clarification. I'm choosing between male or female based on romance and choosing between adept and engineer to lower gunplay. Famed Guardian says, Biomutant Merc is digital pre-order bonus only. Got it. So you have to pre-order it digitally then to get it. Christopher says, what do you hope to see in the upcoming animated Mario film besides it not being bad?
Mario.
That was gonna be my answer. Not being bad.
Mario.
I want to see Wario make an appearance and Waluigi.
I want to see them. I want to see them figure out how to make a plot that doesn't feel stupid.
Good luck.
I want Lou Albano to be a cameo character.
He's also dead, so that would be a little
They
tough.
can make a little cameo character that looks like him and talks like him.
Do you think they'll have like little Easter eggs and stuff in there? Like, do you think you'll see like Gino in the background at one point?
I genuinely think there's going to be a point where like the DVD copy of the original film is going to be like on a shelf somewhere, or like lost in a scene, because it's going to be an animated film. I think it's Illumination doing it. Mm-hmm. So I think the film could be done pretty well. There's going to be a lot of if they take it in the comedy style of like a Lego movie, or like what Phil Lord and Chris Miller write for a lot of those animated films, and I think it could actually be a really funny movie and with a lot of inside jokes like that.
I think if anything, I'd like to see like little Easter eggs towards other franchises that Nintendo has, their other IPs, like Fox up on a shelf somewhere, something like that. You know, like a little stuffed Fox from it.
That depends on how lenient Nintendo allows them to be with the.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't heard anything about that. That was announced so long ago. So hopefully, I think next year, we'll hear something.
I think it's 2022. Yeah, 2022 is the movie. So
Wishbone says the Spartan console will save Sega Sammy RGT. There you go.
There you go. Never give
All
up.
right. This is from Sir Rich saying, "Yo, Jordan, love nostalgia. I've been getting from your videos. Keep it going."
Appreciate
There you go.
it. Thank you
And then
so much.
he says, Kimmerix, you're the best.
Aw.
Hondo says, I played the Mass Effect trilogy for the first time last year. Between the RPG elements and the truly amazing world building, Mass Effect 1 is my favorite of the three. Well, then you're really going to like the Legendary Edition
Why
because
didn't you
they
just
did
wait a little longer?
they did a great job with that. So
Yeah.
this is Dan saying, Wave Race for Switch is my annual E3 dream reveal.
Keep dreaming.
This is from
Wait,
Honda.
wait.
Honda says, also, Ashley has the most realistic dialogue of any teammate and one of the better arcs in the trilogy.
Absolutely
Ashley
not.
slanders for the ignorant. There you go, Jordan.
No,
Thank
she's
you,
awful.
sir. Thank you.
She's awful. Her character's. I mean, as a character well written to what she is, sure. I still dislike her character though.
Nintendo Eric says, if Nintendo was quicker to lower prices of their lesser selling games, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Kirby, etc., do you think those franchises would sell better and do better in the long run?
No.
Some of them end up in like the Nintendo Select stuff anyway, like later on.
Wasn't Other M like $2 at one point?
It was $10 about a couple months after it launched. It was $10 at GameStop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it didn't blow up in sales. It
Also,
didn't-
Star Fox was at $5 below.
Yes.
Yeah.
True, it was.
Yeah. I
And
bought Star Fox. Yeah, I bought Star Fox on the Wii U for $17.
Yeah.
You know what other Wii game got discounted incredibly fast, and it's because people don't have good taste in gaming? Is Sin and Punishment 2.
I can't believe that. That is
Oh.
so weird that one fell
Our
off so
successor?
bad.
I got that game.
That one
game
was
is
really
fantastic,
cheap.
and it was like it went down to like $10
Yeah.
just after a few months. It's like, really? Come on.
Yeah.
This is from Hot Pocket Daily. All right. Some insider has to know what is being shown for Halo at E3. Does anyone know what the BTB Big Team Battle 2.0 mode is, as said by Clobril, and if it will be shown? I don't know. I mean, if it's 2.0 Big Team Battle, I assume it's just more people on the map, or maybe more people with teams of people. Who knows? There's a lot of things that could happen with
Battle
that.
Royale.
Oh gosh. If they do Battle Royale on Halo,
You know they at least thought about it. If they're not doing it,
I feel like they mentioned at one point and they were like, "Nah, we're not doing that." But I mean, it's too lucrative to ignore at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just avoid the mode. If you go on like Master Chief Collection, there's a ton of things you can do on it. So, Luxian says you got to earn them stars, OJ. So Car says I didn't get Samus Returns because I didn't want to go back to 3DS after Switch. There's at least one lost sale. I think
Yeah,
a lot of people were like, I can't go back to that 240p screen on the 3DS.
it's understandable.
Yeah.
A
Victor
lot of
says,
people just have excuses for Metroid games.
Victor says, if the
What was the
next,
excuse on Prime, guys? The Prime 3? Oh, well, I can't play the first two games. The first provider, I didn't have a GameCube. And now there's always some excuse. Prime 3 was freaking
they were playing it on their Wii when you can just play the first two on your Wii.
Yeah, you can play a GameCube game on it.
There's always an excuse.
Yeah,
guys.
you're right,
I saw
you're
it back then. Prime 3
You're
is so
right.
horrible for how good it was.
Yeah.
There's always an excuse, but hopefully there's
Hey,
no more excuses.
Bring Metroid Prime Trilogy. Let's see how it does on the Switch.
That
See
would
what
be good.
happens.
That
Let's
would
see
be
what
good.
happens. Victor says if the Knicks can come back, Metroid can sell 3 million. There we go, Sean. Miracles are possible. It's
wrong.
possible out here. Ryan says everyone always going on about sales for Metroid, yet Fire Emblem has overall worse sales, and no one ever says a thing. Interesting.
It does not. That's the thing. You don't know the sales of Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem 3 Houses sold better every single Metroid Prime or Metroid game ever made.
Yeah, I would say the latest one did sell really well.
That was on
I
Switch.
mean,
And the
it started with
3DS games.
Awakening sold
Awakening, yeah.
incredibly well, and then Conquest, and they sold incredibly well, and it continued. Metroid started to sell well, started to peter off, came back with Metroid Prime 1, and then the series just kept going down.
And you can even go back further. Metroid or Fire Emblem, the Game Boy Advance game, outsold Zero Mission. So even going back to that, when nobody even knew what the hell Fire Emblem was, it even did better then. So I don't know where does he get this information from? He's not
Fire
watching my
Emblem
videos.
was pretty big on the Game Boy Advance.
Well, no, not back then when it came out. It was just getting going. That was the first
Oh
one.
yeah, but I mean that interest started to get higher.
Well, that's because we had it in
Yeah.
Melee. We had them in Melee. Remember, Smash Melee had like
Fire Emblem Game Boy
Mark,
Advance was the
Roy.
first North American release for
Yeah.
the franchise.
That's
Yeah, it was
it.
the first one. It was the first one, and it still did better than a series that had been around for a decade at that point. More than a decade.
I mean, plus Lynn was an awesome character.
Mm.
Lynn fucked shit up in Fire Emblem.
PTPs. Oh, go ahead, click.
I was just gonna say, I think Metroid has a whole new potential here. Again, coming down to the potential of social media replayability, across platforms, but also like a whole new dimension for marketing, a whole new space. And I think Nintendo, with the way they've been marketing games recently, it's for me, I get really excited to think about the possibilities and how it's very crucial they don't mess it up.
We just need a chance. Put it out. We just need to see how it sells on the Switch.
One more
Put 'em
thing
out.
to say with Click on that one. Now we actually have people here where Nintendo's actually working with like content creators, whereas back then they weren't necessarily. So they're going to get this out to content creators. We're all going to be playing it, So that is the big advantage here, I think, too, for this game, for the next Metroid game.
This is from PTP saying better chance of happening at E3 Mario Kart 9 reveal or Bayonetta 3 2021 release date announcement.
Neither
Bayonetta
has a
3.
good chance.
It's got to be
Bayonetta
Bayonetta 3. It's got to be Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is supposed to come out 2 years ago.
Release announcement, 2021 release.
This is the overall chance of either of those. So
Bayonetta
yes,
3 was supposed
that
to come
one.
out 2 years ago.
0 for both.
Oh my gosh.
With
Don't
Nate.
believe this man.
Bayonetta 3 about to have like a 5-year development cycle.
No, don't believe this man.
I
It's
will,
not coming.
if Bayonetta gets announced to come out this year, I will lick the bottom of my shoe.
You better
There you go.
clean that shoe.
What did you?
Hold on.
If it's set to
Evan is
release,
clipping
in
it.
this
Give me
year,
just a second. What'd you say, Click? What happened? Say it again.
At least it's her shoe. She didn't say Sean's shoe. That would have been a death sentence.
Go ahead and say that again, Click. What did
I
you
don't
say?
want to. I don't want to contract something.
You said you will lick the bottom of your shoe if Bayonetta 3 comes out this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that you said that.
Oh, you got to make some phone calls. Like, you got to release it this year.
But I know. I'm giving them a choice, man. There you go.
Shout out
This is for
to
the people.
Eric Thomas becoming a member. Thank you, Eric Thomas. Appreciate that. This is
Sean, you went to leave for a drink. You
23.
come back eating.
I got a chicken tender.
Okay,
Wow.
there we go. Let's finish up, Sean, with the last topic.
Oh yes,
this is
let's.
This is
Where's
Sean's
that
topic
fucker?
right here.
Where is he?
One chicken tender.
Cold too.
Ew.
Question is, where did you find it? Was it one of those things where you like walk by your couch and you just kind of see it poking out and you're just like, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I had these last night.
It's in the fridge.
He's cooking it. Yeah.
I got my Applebee's today with 10 mozzarella sticks. I got my chicken tenders with fries, and I got my burger with mashed potatoes. So there's leftovers.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is I have this is from Sega's slide, the one that has the utilization of IP assets, and it goes over examples of the active IP, but then it showed the examples of past IP groups, which includes the dormant IPs: Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Space Channel 5, Rez, Panzer Dragoon, and Knights. And they use the correct capitalization where everything's capitalized except for the I, which is lowercase. That's Knights. Sean, your AAA Knights is not out yet. Okay, it's not out of the question.
And a lot of people doubted it, and that's fine. I understand.
So do you think it's going to play good on a cell phone or no?
Shut up. They're talking about consoles with this stuff, okay? And even if they just ported over the original, because you have the original Knights that's available on Steam, PS3, and Xbox 360, just port that over to the Switch.
Yep,
What
they
are
have
you doing? And
they
then,
have
you know what you
remaster,
do?
remake, or reboot.
You know what you fucking do? You port it over to the Switch, and then Limited Run comes along and is like, "Hey, let's make a $500 fucking collector's edition of this." And then I'm like, "Okay, here you go." Here's
Yeah,
my
Sean
money.
buys
Thank
it
you."
immediately.
I bought that the most expensive Castlevania one. I bought that shit. Like, you could do a lot of cool stuff with that. But yes, and the problem is, it's at the end of the day, it's still Sega. And I feel like they've said this kind of shit a million times.
They say it a lot.
We're gonna look at our old catalog of IPs and see what we can do, and then nothing ever happens. But I believe that this is like the first time they actually named franchises, actually said these names. Like, holy shit! Well, look at all these games. I forgot that we made these. So that was a positive stuff. Yeah, to see Knights on there, I was like, you gotta be joking.
Yeah,
You know what they left off though, they left off Skies of Arcadia. It wasn't even there.
Yeah.
They left off a great franchise with Skies to put Knights on it.
But
They also they put
Skies
Alter
isn't a
Beast.
franchise though. Skies is a one and done. Yes, it had the
Yeah.
GameCube version, but it was essentially the Dreamcast. Whereas
But it's-
Knights
it's the
had a
best
comic book. It had a comic book, multiple re-releases, 2 new games, a Tiger handheld, Christmas Nights. So technically 3.
You know one thing though, RGT, and you know I think that they're more serious with this because this is the first time they've done this with the investors. Before
Yeah.
they're just talking to fans. It's just they're just
That's
kind of
true,
just
it's
saying
true.
it. But now they're actually telling investors and saying, "Hey, this is what we need to do," and it's because of 3 to 4 years of completely ass results. Let's just be real here. Like they're not for how
Yeah.
historic Sega is. This is pretty pathetic. I think it's kind of pathetic how
It's actually
bad they're doing.
amazing. Yeah, it's actually amazing with the IPs they have and they laid them out. And you're like, how are they doing so poorly?
How are they not doing better? I mean, they have Atlas. They have all of Atlas. They have all of their IP, and they're still below Bandai Namco, Square Enix, Capcom, and
By a large margin too.
by
Like
a huge margin.
like a ridiculous margin.
in
Like
terms of money, being
Yeah.
made
well, in
and
terms
stuff
of
like that.
games too. Take away Atlas games, and what the fuck do you have from Sega? Dog
got-
shit.
You got Yakuza.
I always
That's-
forget about Yakuza. Like that's kind of the one
Fantasy
thing.
Star is good, but it only
Yeah,
took
but Fantasy-
Microsoft
Yeah.
coming in, and after what a damn near decade to get that game even in a Western release. So that's like what, you know?
I did like seeing Jet Set Radio in there. Like I would like to see them do something with that. That could be pretty cool. Even even if they grab Future.
Shinobi's on there too.
Shinobi's on there too. Yeah. Yep.
That's something that franchise should have never died. Okay, it should have never
PS2
died.
Shinobi was amazing.
Yeah.
Like there's how fucking hard is it to make a ninja game?
Crazy Taxi. Like how?
Like I don't understand. Like you have this ninja, you have some lineage, you have games to go on, you have a great groundwork of games that you played. You've done 3D games, maybe it didn't work out all that great on the PS2. You've done 2D games. It's a ninja game.
But nobody
shit.
bought it. No one bought it on the 3DS.
I was my first ever official review as a writer.
Do you think that Sega looks at some of these games and they're like, all right, they worked in like the 90s and even the early 2000s, but would they work now with these $60 price tags or even $40 price tags?
That's exactly what they're doing. No, you know
think
what got
that's what they're doing?
Sega spooked was last gen or 2 gens ago with Platinum Games. They made all these dope. They made Bayonetta. They made Vanquish. They made all these dope games. They made what was it? The sequel to Mad World or the spiritual sequel to Mad World, Anarchy Reigns. They made all this stuff and nobody really bought them. They're like, we're making all these amazing games and nobody's buying them like that. Like, what's going on? So I think that spooked them a little bit. And also like they made like the was it Resonance of Fate. Like they made all sorts. They tried all sorts of stuff.
Fate was interesting too.
Yeah, all the awesome Sega games on the fucking Wii. Like you had House of the Dead, the Overkill, Mad World, Knight's Journey into Dreams. There was a lot of top
now-
Sega
But now it's a
games
good time to take advantage of it because we're in like this cross-gen period where there's a PS4 and a PS5 to release on. Release across the Xbox systems, and you can release on a Switch that's selling like crazy right now. So if you're gonna take a shot at one of these older IPs, now is like the time to do it.
Shinobi should have been. I mean, the fact that there isn't like some type of badass Shinobi game right now, like, yeah, I agree. Like, how can you not make a ninja game? I guess, I mean, what's it called? Ninja Gaiden ran into some trouble too. Koei Tecmo had some trouble with. Like,
a lot of that has to also come down with oversaturation, though, because at the time, like we're sitting here talking about Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden, these games were released very often, ninja games and games in that sort of style, maybe not, an actual ninja, but games in that sort of style were sort of under the radar and at the same time oversaturated. Whereas now, you don't really, it's more about cinematic games that seem to be what people are, game developers are leaning towards. And those higher fast paced games, like the Platinum Games game, seem to be, sort of on the back burner. So you would think that like now is the time to take advantage of it. Now with the Ninja Gaiden trilogy coming out, like they say, oh, well, motherfuckers want to play fast games. All right, well, here's 3 games in a collection, so sort of to try to capitalize on a lack of this genre of games.
I mean, at the very least, you could try to port some of the games to like current like you could get Jet Set Radio and just drop it on the Switch and just see what happens. Be like, okay, we'll see how this does. See if people remembers this franchise.
I mean, fucking take your Dreamcast games and, if possible, Saturn games and put them on the Switch. It's sell them for, do the Sega. What is wrong with you, Sega? You started, you always fucking do this. You sit there and you take the Genesis games and you always re-release the goddamn Genesis games. And we love them. But the problem is you re-release them so many times and I already have the Genesis Classics collection. Then you start the Sega Ages stuff and you're like, oh, okay, we're going to dip our toe here. Oh, look, arcade version of Virtua Racing. Oh, isn't that nice? And now you're like, fuck yeah. Now you could give me arcade versions of Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA, and then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna stop doing the Sega Ages stuff. Thank you guys for checking it out. It's like, why the fuck did you stop at 92? We want 93 to 99. Like, these are the God, it drives me nuts. It drives me because you sell those games for $5-10 a pop, they're going to sell. They're going to sell, point blank, period.
I think some of those Dreamcast games make the jump at 15 to 20 and they would sell.
I'll buy them. A portable Dreamcast? Like, fuck.
Like if Crazy Taxi just moved over or something, they're like, here's Crazy Taxi.
$20. But I think like a Space Channel 5, I think that would work in today's day if they made it, because like what's that Hatsune game? That's still around and does okay. So they do that. I think a Space Channel 5 would work. I think, like they could maybe like Streets of Rage, obviously they have that coming back. Soul Hackers. I mean, they've got a lot of good stuff here. I can see Sean's frustration with what's going on though. Like I can see that, but there's a lot of cool stuff on here, man. So I think people underestimate Space Channel 5. That game is, it's dope.
Wasn't Michael Jackson in that game though? So I think that would be kind of hard with his lineage. But what the fuck? Now all of a sudden Sonic 3 supposedly coming.
I saw that.
Yeah, Sonic 3.
God, just give me Moonwalker. And you know what? Remake Moonwalker. Yeah. Fuck
Sega's
yeah,
about to go crazy for the anniversary of Sonic, I guess, this year.
Oh, great.
Sega's management though. I mean, like, listen, I don't like to second and triple or quadruple guess. I mean, I get it. There's probably smart people that work there, but you have to wonder like what's going on there because this, like I said, you have to just kind of wonder like seems atrocious that they're waiting till now at this point to say let's bring back some games. Heck, even Nintendo brings back some games.
All right, that's it. Microsoft just needs to buy Sega. All right.
You know what? At first I was like, you know what, man, nobody knows Sega's, but dude, if somebody can buy them and actually do some better IP management here, man, like,
and
I think I'd be open to that.
And we're saying that with Microsoft, who couldn't even launch their flagship game with their console.
Sega publicly traded because I'm gonna buy some Sega stock.
They are publicly traded.
And you're gonna write them and be like, I'm a shareholder. Put out a AAA Nights game.
Sega is publicly traded. I mean, but I know we beat this with dead horse, but I mean, come on, man. Like, they're surprised that Persona 4 Golden Soul.
I know it blows my mind. You should buy some stock, Sean, and then tell them you're coming to the investors meeting and make them put out like a piece of paper with your name on it.
Like, imagine the meeting. Hey guys, one of the best game RPGs of all time is selling. What?
Yeah, I know.
What? No way.
The serious meeting. Then all of a sudden, Sean says something. He's like, "Yeah, I don't give a crap about any of these other games. Can y'all just make a AAA Nights game finally?"
Like, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing? We need to right this ship, and I am the person who will help you right this ship.
Maybe you just need to run Sega. You ever thought about that?
I mean, if they gave me the opportunity.
I mean, you just bring your resume and say, "Listen,
they let you
I
think if you're a big enough investor too, Sean, they'll let you make requests like for your like accommodations there. You should ask for like
Sega, man.
You should ask for like the McRib. Be like, I need like 3 or 4 McRibs there.
Tell the shareholders to that
Two Hot Pockets,
the board members that they want you as the CEO.
Yeah. I mean,
they are making some strides though, guys. I mean, I don't want to just sit there and, I mean, we got Persona 5 Strikers multi-platform. We got Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD multi-platform. So there is some stuff. Obviously, Yakuza's went multi-platform. They used to just have that on PlayStation only. So they are doing some stuff. So they have made some strides, but they need to do a bit more. But
yeah, well, we'll see. If they can do a Persona 6 multi-platform worldwide release all at once, that would be impressive. And I'd be like, okay, that's big.
Very possible. I know Shin Megami Tensei 5 isn't multi-platform, but that game is simultaneous release worldwide. And that's the first ever for Shin Megami.
Well, they're doing it for Lost Judgment. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe they're starting to go into the area of like,
Yes.
okay, you know what, we're not going to put these out until they're just worldwide releases all at once.
Multi-plat worldwide releases. That's, I mean, but like I said, this seems to be I mean, Pokemon started doing this. How long ago did they do like simultaneous worldwide releases for Pokemon? You know, that was a long, and that's a Pokemon company. But
and people think Game Freak has a hard time putting their shoes on in the morning at this rate.
the fact that it's taking them like this is just it's. But hey, shout outs to Sega though, because you know well, not all of us, but I guess me and Sean we're obviously like, and I know John, you like Sega too, old school Sega. So
I'm just hard on Sega because I want them to do well, but it's hard not to make fun of them sometimes.
my
So
Persona line I still wake up at night and just like, what the hell? Did they really say that? I double check. I'm like, no, they actually said that.
I feel like I feel like it would be on other platforms by now if they weren't surprised by it. So obviously they must have been surprised by that success.
Apparently, and people talk about like there's exclusive. I don't think, dude. I've tried. I don't think there's any type of exclusivity deal. I think they're just doing it just because. Just like there was an exclusivity deal with Yakuza. There wasn't one. There's not a lot of like Sakura Wars, all these games that are just on this system, or this system, or this system. There's nothing. They're not getting paid anything for it. They're just doing it because they're freaking weird.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Unless they're really conservative and they don't want to develop for anyone like more than one system at a time or something.
Super
It's
conservative.
Like,
yeah, save money. Obviously, it's way cheaper to just develop on one and just focus on one platform. But you limit your customer base by. There's too much competition to be doing that now in today's day. Like
Evan, we got Discord questions over there.
I just got a couple left. We
can go through them now.
What is the best way to go about recovering save data from a dead PS4 hard drive?
Oh, from a dead PS4 and not much.
Yeah,
once that hard drive's dead, it's dead. And if you try to put in another PS4 and it even tries to start up, it'll erase it anyway.
Like the only thing we remember was what you put it in the freezer and sometimes it frees up the
You could do
bearings
that.
in it, but it's like
people would
low
put it in,
chance.
People would put it in freezers. They would hook it up to PCs to try to run like a sector clear and like try to repair any bad. It was always a pain with mechanical drives. It's generally when it starts clicking, it's gone. Or you got to take it to somebody, and then the amount of money that it costs for them to open it up and fix it is a whole other thing. So it's unless it's some serious save data on there that you like hundreds of hours, you're like, I need this back. It might be it. Unfortunately, it might be that. You can keep going through them, Evan. We'll just finish up Discord questions, and then we'll go through the super chats here with the Streamlabs.
Yeah, and we just had one other guy wondering if anybody else usually swings into our Discord to read chat and check on stuff, and I was just checking it. If you guys, anyone here, wanted me to put them in our Discord, so you can use it if you guys want to like say what things you're going live. Like I can pull it up. But yeah, we're actually getting active in the Discord, which is cool. People are talking a lot.
Very cool.
We might be getting a mod finally for the YouTube chat from it too.
And this is. Oh wow, this is through the Patreon, Evan.
Patreon.
The Discord. Okay. And I think is there a way? Because I was looking online, they were talking about on YouTube for members. So if people don't want to go through Patreon, they do memberships too.
Yeah, if you're
you
a member,
can link the Discord to that,
on YouTube, yeah, same thing. I set it up for both. Works.
Oh, okay, cool. So if you're a member to the channel, you can also get into the Discord. Then there's instructions for that after you become a member.
Yeah, you just have to link your YouTube account to your Discord account, and then it just automatically invites you.
There we go. So anyone who's a member also on the channel, you can get in the Discord and hang out in there. All right, very cool. Very cool. All right. You have another Discord question, Evan? You could also that's where a lot of our Discord questions come to, obviously, is through Discord. So there you go.
But yeah, that's
very cool.
it.
Okay. We'll go through some of the super chats here, and we'll also do some outros while we're doing that in the Streamlabs. Sean, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85, or you can find me in the SpawnCast chat arguing with Robert Lawrence, because Robert Lawrence thinks Streets of Rage 4 is a bad game.
What?
I don't know. It said that because I like Streets of Rage 4, I don't know anything. So sorry, guys. I guess I don't know anything. No idea what's going on this week. Tomorrow I'll be watching the Knicks play at 1:00. So big game, very important.
Last game of the season.
Yep, last game of the season.
Okay, there we go. And this is from Cyber Knight saying, anyone know if Pikmin 4 is still a thing that's coming? Could we see it at this E3 baby. Also, much love to you all, and please stay safe this summer. There's another question actually up higher about Pikmin 4. I mean, that would be a surprise, is what I'll say if that happened. But a lot of Pikmin stuff all of a sudden happening, so
they're still working on a new entry to Pikmin. I highly doubt it would be at E3 this year.
Oh, so they're still working on it? Is that what you're saying?
Work is underway on a new Pikmin.
There you go. Work is under. Okay, so there you go. All the Pikmin people out there.
Pikmin 4 before Bayonetta 3.
Now, is this the second or third time they rebooted it?
What,
That's
Pikmin?
a story for a different day.
That's a story for a different. Well, they haven't shelved it. Okay, there's a new Pikmin game being worked on, and that's not the cell phone game. There's another Pikmin game that's being worked on. Okay.
Yes, it
There
could
you
come
go.
out in a decade. Who knows? But
There you
they
go.
Still are making progress on a Pikmin game.
How many units does Pikmin 3 sell?
2 million on the Switch.
2 on the Switch? Okay.
If you count the Wii U, about 3.
There we go. And it going to cell phones probably helped to boost that interest as well.
No, it definitely did not.
What? You don't think it will?
No.
It's not out yet.
That game is not going to get any traction on the cell phone. No one's
I'll
going to
check
care
it
about
out.
the game after about a week.
It's from Steps, right?
It's not even a game. You just like walk around and the
I
little
walk.
fuckers follow you.
I walk
It's
around.
like if it were Pokemon Go with Pikmin, it would have a chance.
Done.
But it's not anything
walk
like
around.
Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
No one's gonna even like download that game. They're gonna be like,
Hey, I will.
"Oh, that's a thing."
Monroe says, I got my 65-inch LG C1 this week. Looks amazing. Very nice.
Woohoo.
Hellman says, I love a new Pilot Wings game. It's interesting. I haven't heard that one in a while.
Franchise is dead, bruh.
That's a shame. Had such great music on the 3DS.
Matt Anumi says, anyone else stoked for custom games browser on Master Chief Collection? Some great memories of the server browser on Halo PC even 10 years ago. Halo Master Chief Collection is to be the greatest turnaround in gaming. It probably is, because when it came out, it didn't work. It works now, so there's a turnaround for you.
That or No Man's Sky. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. No Man's Sky, people were getting run out of town for that one, like literally run out of town. So that might have been it too. Ross says, I heard Persona and Yakuza broke their backs from carrying Sega for years. Yeah.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
On says, what do you think the first Xbox One limited run game is? Oh yeah, that's right. They just announced support for Xbox One. I mean, I feel like any of these games that are multi-plat anyway, they'll just pick one of them. And so it could be really anything that just pops up in like the indie game sector. What about OJ? Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube. Thank you so much to all the peeps that have been coming over. Get so many, hey, OJ, I'm from the SpawnCast. So yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. Thank you for all the new subscribers and stuff that have coming through. Tomorrow, we've actually got a pretty cool Heroes versus Villains Super Smash Brothers tournament that we're running on the channel. So if you guys want to drop by, my users are making me play too. So I'll be using Mewtwo. So if you want to watch the tournament tomorrow, I'll be on the channel, Player Essence. I also cover Nintendo news and RPG stuff, all that. Pretty much every single day there's new videos, and I stream pretty much daily. Monday through Saturday I stream, so pretty busy on the channel. So thank you for having me on once again. Hopefully you guys come through to the tournament tomorrow and watch the vids. So thank you.
This one's from Chris saying, Gideon from Mana Entertainment here. Much love to OJ and the SpawnCast. If you like Mansala, check out Pebble Pirates on Android. There you go.
Shout outs to Gideon, my boy. He's a developer. He makes games.
Oh, very cool. Okay, awesome. Dark B Andy says, I want Valkyria Chronicles 3. That's from the PSP, Japan exclusive, remastered and launched worldwide this time. OJ, ever thought Selvaria Bless can get into Smash despite her being a heavy set?
No, that character would not get into Smash, but I did recently talk about them potentially releasing Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3, remastering them and putting them out on the Switch. But I think the problem is that Valkyria Chronicles 4, while it did okay, the quality of it should have done a lot better, although it did do well on Switch. So I do think that there's some hope for the franchise. Maybe we hear something. I do think that there's hope, but I'm not sure what they do with it going forward. But I think a remaster might be a good step. Have a collection, put those out there on the Switch and other systems. So We'll see. But no, that character's not getting it.
Thanks, Dark Andy. Tom says, "Hear me out. Take Streets of Rage, but treat it like the new TMNT game recently, and have Comic Zone crossover. Come on, Sega. Comic Zone was a cool game back in the day. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It was just hard.
It was hard as fuck.
Yeah, it was very difficult. But it was cool because of you'd kick them through the panels and
it was a great looking game.
Yeah." James says, "No question, just recommending the RetroTink 5X. It made my PS2 look like it has an HDMI mod. I'm gonna have to get that just for capture purposes. It does appear to be very, very good.
Mine is on the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up. That just makes sense for capturing any of these older systems for videos or any of that. So, absolutely will." Joe says, "Well, you got, especially if Sean and I have that series where we play games and he apparently talks about his history."
Starting at preschool. I got a good preschool story.
Okay. Joe says, "Will you guys have 8-Bit Eric on as a guest in the near future? Love the podcast, guys." Yeah, we can have Eric on. Yeah, absolutely. Friendly Astronaut says, "Sega's a wacky company that makes decisions only Sega can make. I love Sega, but where's my Sonic Unleashed port on PC?"
There's a lot of things.
Asking the tough questions. Misclick, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You can find me here on YouTube as Misclick Gaming, or you can find me live almost every day on Twitch as Misclick_live. Other than that, social media, Misclick. That's about it.
And you're held up all night.
Yeah, I did actually. Too bad I couldn't do it for actual stream beforehand, but we're here.
It's from the basement saying, "Hey guys, good chats. Hombres love the crew throughout the years. Keep on keeping on. Can't wait. E3 hype is gnarly, bro." E3 hype is starting to get moving though, so exciting stuff.
Yes, sir.
This is from Neo saying, "OJ, what time does it start?" Oh, I think for tomorrow for your Smash stuff.
I think it starts at noon Eastern for the Smash Brothers Heroes versus Villains tournament. Should be fun.
Very cool. This is from Venicera. Thank you, SpawnCast, for another great show. You all are the best. And thank you to the great community here for following every week. Thank you, Venicera. Let's go over to Jordan, star of the week this past week with some of his videos on his channel. So make sure you check that out. Jordan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Jordan Fringe on YouTube. We are a little over 1,200 subs away from 50,000. The support the last couple weeks has been unreal, and I thank anyone who has an interest in me talking about weird, dark, or obscure cartoons you may not remember or do remember. I got a bunch of interesting videos planned up. So yeah, if you like the videos, I do ones every Tuesday and Friday now. So yeah, feel free to check it out. It'd be great.
I'm going to go through the Streamlabs real quick. Mr. Stud Muffin says, "Amazing job as always. I look forward to the SpawnCast every week and makes my shifts at work just a little more tolerable. So thank you." Liam says, "What are the odds of Rare Replay coming to Switch? And if it does, do you think Microsoft will build a 360 emulator for Switch, or will they just cut the 360 games from the Switch version?" Ooh, that's a good question.
I like the second half of that question. I would be fine with them cutting the 360 games because, I mean, what?
Perfect Dark Zero?
Dark Zero? Come on. Fuck that game.
I mean, it was something that was proposed and explored a couple of years ago. Not sure if it's still going to make actual release, but the idea was that they would remove the 360 games and replace them with other rare Nintendo releases.
Oh,
so
that's
it would have been
cool.
like the Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong 64 to replace those type of games.
There we go. DK64. Sean.
But this was something that was in discussions back in 2019.
Nate,
the first
why
half
are
of
you just now
2020,
telling us this?
Because it probably isn't going to happen.
But
it
It was something under consideration, but it probably
you're just
didn't
now
get green
telling
light.
us this. Nate needs to get his own website.
It's probably not going to release. It's probably
It's an interesting story.
Not really.
The fact that it was like out there and floated is interesting. People in the chat can tell us if it's interesting. I feel like that's
floated as like a
interesting.
discussion of it could happen, but I don't think it's ever actually hit production.
It's just to hear the conversations that they had like that are pretty interesting. So
These type of conversations happen daily in these companies. So
So,
I mean, maybe it
I
did
would
go
think-
into production. We can still see
you
it.
know
It'd be
what?
awesome to have like a golden eye. Well, not golden eye, but have Perfect Dark,
Perfect
Donkey
Dark?
Kong 64, all these in a single compilation.
Jeff Force Gemini.
Not only do I own Nintendo stock, but I also own Microsoft stock. So I'm gonna be like, look,
everything.
look, motherfuckers. All right, I own both of you. It's time to listen to me. Give me this.
Why are you making them kiss?
Because that's what I want.
Saz says my PS3 Slim started showing the yellow light of death and I thought it needed reballing, but I noticed it randomly works normally for several hours sometimes. So my question is, which would be the best Resident Evil game to start with? Keep up the great work. Love you all. Click, what's the best Resident Evil game to start with?
Man, we're going with this again, guys. Come on.
Just say 4. Just say 4 every time. Everyone will be like, yeah, okay, 4's good. Shinru says, evening everyone, just wanted to give a shout out to Sean and OJ for helping me out with finding a new car. Wasn't expecting anyone to respond. Okay.
All good, Shinru. Shinru's
It's on
the
Twitter.
homie. Yeah.
Okay. What car did you guys
I think he's gonna go with the Toyota Corolla.
There you go.
I didn't do a whole lot. I was just saying he was nervous about mileage on certain cars, and I just let him know that Japanese and European cars, generally speaking, can go better mileage than American ones.
But yeah, he's gonna go with the Corolla. So I recommended a Corolla.
Okay, that was a good car. Very good. And Pyro says, hi, I won't get to watch till tomorrow because time zones and my last exam of the year is on Monday, but want to wish all of you a good week. Side note, is there a link to the BGM that plays before the podcast starts? It fit well in my ambient playlist. What do we use there, Evan?
This is something I grabbed. I have to look it up, but it's something I grabbed from the YouTube back office. I'll link it on the SpawnCast Twitter tonight. I'll post it up for people who are wondering.
There we go. Mac Mega says, should I get the N64 or GameCube version of Doshin the Giant? GameCube, I guess. Yeah. And then Mac Mega said, did Sean end up watching Back to the Future 2 in peace earlier this week?
I did not. It was ruined.
This was from why? What happened, Sean? What happened?
Man.
Oh God.
Okay, no, wait, hold on. No, this is
Let's just say if someone tells you they are a light snorer,
oh gosh,
times that by 100.
Oh no. Okay.
Because your ass will be on the couch.
Oh, Marabella says, do you think we'll get Pikmin 4 ever? We talked about that earlier. Taker610 says, I can see a midlife update for PS5 and Series X around 2023, 2024. I think Nintendo will be ready with a brand new console at that time, and the Switch revision will shrink the gap between it and those consoles in the meantime. Thoughts? I still think the PS5 and the Series X will be going for a while, just because by 2023, it might finally be talking about the chip shortage being fixed, so... I think these are going to run for a bit.
PS5 getting a revision next year.
But yeah, but it's not going to be anything like a Pro or anything like that. It's just going to be them working out the chip so it gets probably better yields or it uses less components. Just in some way, they're going to alter the fabrication so it's more efficient in production. That's all. Nate, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. We will have an episode sometime next week. Not sure the topic exactly, but right now we have a podcast up where we talk about if the Switch can sell better than the DS and the PlayStation 2, and the possibility that the Switch could potentially sell 200 million units before all said and done. So people should give that a listen.
Okay.
It's more realistic than you think.
There you go. And then Evan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Kimrex Project. If I'm doing streaming or anything else, I'll probably post it there. And yeah, we'll probably stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday again this week, hopefully. See what happens.
Okay, and then we had Neo saying, shout out to Jordan for giving creative answers for the ever-present old IP revivals question, like Croc. What about Toomba? Hey, Toomba's still fun.
Yeah, bring back Toomba, more Croc. If there's anything I'm going to do in my life before I die, I'm going to fight for Croc to come back. And also shout out to Chameleon Twist Nintendo. Stop being cowards. Chameleon Twist 3. Let's make it happen on the Switch.
All right. There we go. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for the SpawnCast. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see everyone then.